closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Bell Gardens, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hansen. I'm here with Dave Tuckman. We are going to be doing a big $25.50 unrestricted buy-in, no limit hold'em game. $3,000 minimum, Dave. We've got Kenna James in the game. We've got Barry Woods back from New Zealand in the game. A lot of new players in the game and big names. Barry Woods actually gave me this shirt. I don't know if anybody knows Japanese in our audience, but see if somebody knows what this means.
I have no idea what it means.
We'll click back.
Australia.
Yeah.
I know what that means.
Okay.
That's it.
Let's get to the table and let's introduce the players.
Let's do that.
Start it up.
Seat number one, we've got Russ. There he is, Hollywood Russ there. And seat number two, we've got Kenna James. And I guess he didn't do very well in the tournament.
Look who's behind Kenna James right there, up to the upper right.
This is Michael Mizrachi.
There's the grinder.
Yeah, there's the grinder. I actually played with the grinder's wife last night. And the grinder actually did he win last night's tournament?
Yeah.
And seat number three is Dan. And Dan's new to Live the Bike. See what we can do there. Getting word, maybe we'll get the grinder in here for a little interview.
Yes.
Seat number four, we've got Gil. And those of you know Gil, obviously. Gil's a local tournament pro. Plays most of those smaller tournaments and does really well. Seat number five, we've got Harry Kazazian. And Harry's pretty new to Live the Bike. See how he does tonight. Seat number six, Barry Woods. Welcome back from New Zealand and Australia. And he's got a lot of money on him. Well over $10,000. See if the month off makes him rusty or makes him better. Seat number seven, we've got Josh. And you said you played with this fellow before the game.
I did.
In the 5-10 game. What were you thinking of his play?
Well, he gave away some chips, so let's see if he makes a turnaround in this game.
Seat number eight, we've got Paul. Paul's a local pro.
Yep.
Been playing poker a long, long time, and he's a pretty solid player.
Yep.
And seat number nine, that's Alan. There he is. The myth, the legend, the Allenster. So let's get to the action.
Yes. Button's going to move over here to seat four.
Somebody's got to raise you since Mike isn't here.
Yeah, you guys do your own raise now, Barry.
Cheap, as long as no one raises.
Okay, I won't raise.
I got 7-3 offset. What am I going to do? Oh, bingo. I hit my pair. Check.
I even bring that. I bring the cream of the cream, huh? I'm the one ranked player in the world. Huh? I can do that. You know that? That's strong.
Who won
The guy named Mike Schneider.
Looks like Barry's turned trip sevens here, Dave.
Yeah, and Josh has got nothing.
Yeah. River here is a 6.
See what Barry bets here, and I imagine Josh is going to fold here. Josh has got king high.
Yep.
Josh has got absolutely nothing. But he's thinking about it. Now he's going to throw it away, obviously.
Yeah,
And we're just trying to figure out the whereabouts, whether we're going to interview the grinder in here or maybe out on the floor.
Right.
huh? You know, when you win 700, your equity goes up a little bit.
Yeah. I tried 7-3.
Right.
Button's going to move over here to seat 5.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, well, we're getting word that the grinder is going to come in the booth right
Sounds
here.
great. Hey, man, we get some commentary from the grinder. That'd be fabulous. Why don't I step out for a second?
Okay.
And you talk to him and hopefully do the game. Look at this. We got kings and jacks, folks. I'm going to leave.
Pocket kings here for Dan, and Barry's got jacks, so this is always going to be interesting. It's going to be a $200 raise here by seat number 3, Dan. And Barry's going to come over the top here.
600.
He's going to make it 600 to go. He's going to pull that mini re-raise. We're playing 25-15, no limit hold'em. Don't worry about it, Mike. I will lead you through everything. You don't have to worry about all these multi-screens.
25
So Barry has raised it over the top here. He's come over the top with jacks. And Dan has got kings. He's in the driver's seat.
2,000. Sir, that's $1. 625.
And Dan is going to re-raise. He's going to re-raise here. He's going to make it 2,000 more. And you would think that Barry guts the hint here that Jack's out of position is probably not good. Hello, Grinder.
How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
It's great to meet you. I saw that your wife was still in the tournament.
Yeah,
tonight.
she's still in this one. I got my twin brother still in.
Yeah. That's all. There he is. Grinder, what's going on? You know, Kenna James was telling us about how you and him were really battling it out for the point race this year.
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah, it was a little upsetting yesterday. I thought it'd be played 40 players get points. That's all I'm playing for the points yesterday.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually the money, but the money's, it's the plus side of it. And I ended up finishing first and my brother second, which is pretty spooky.
Yeah.
The odds of that's about 1,300 to 1. And they said they haven't seen that in the bike in 33 years.
Really?
They've never seen that
Wow.
before.
Well, that, of course, was a limit tournament, and tonight was no limit. And we're playing 25-50. This is a live cash game, kind of like if you've ever seen GSN's high-stakes poker.
I'm going to be playing the next GSN show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, most likely.
So we're playing 25-50. It's an uncapped buy, and most people buy in for about 10 grand. It's a really big game. You get sometimes your fill of ring games, no limit cash games?
I play a lot of cash games.
Do you? Yeah.
Maybe more than tournaments, probably.
Russ is going to bring this one in for a raise here to 350 with 2 black queens. And Josh is going to call here with pocket sixes. Maybe if he hits a 6 here, he might be able to bust Russ if rags
Only
come up.
1 6 left, though.
Yeah, ace-6 is already out there. Well, King Deuce 9 here. Russ has got 1 overcard here. He's probably going to make a continuation bet. The pot is about $800 right now.
This guy Josh?
Yeah, Josh in seat 7, and Russ is going to make a continuation bet here in seat 1. He's going to bet 550. And that really puts sixes in a tough spot here out of position, right?
It does. Yeah. So that's Josh.
Yeah. The table looks around like in clockwise manner here from this screen, seat 1, all the way to seat 9. And as you can see, Russ takes it down. The white chips are $100 chips. The purples are 25s. Big ones are thousands, and big light purples are 5,000s. So you play a lot of ring games, a lot of cash ring games. How do you do in those games?
So far since I've been here, I haven't lost a session.
Really?
I'm doing really
Play a
well.
little 20-40 sometimes at the other casino and such? 50-100 a year?
I played last time I was here. I was playing 200, 400 no limit.
Really?
$20,000 prop bets.
With $20,000
Red or black on the flop.
Red or black on the flop. Sometimes we play the pair game in this game. You know, somebody takes 8, someone takes 6, and someone takes jack.
I was more focused on the prop bet, so I sat out for most of the time.
Oh, really?
Because if I'm betting red, and if I'm betting red, and I don't want red to come out, so I'll push the guy out. Like I'm playing exact opposite. If I have 2 black cards, then I'm betting on black, so better chance of the reds coming on the flop. So I raise people out.
Oh,
so we
really?
don't see a flop.
That's cool, yeah. You hedge your prop bet here.
So it didn't matter what I had in my hand.
Kenna brought this one in, obviously familiar with Kenna, with King, Queen offsuit. He made it 150 to go. He got 3 callers here. And it looks like Gil, to his immediate left, has ace-jack, and he's flopped an ace. Kenna is going to check this flop, and Gil is going to bet 450 here. You can see from the percentages, Gil has a command over this hand, and I don't think we're going to get anybody to play. Tell us a little bit about Kenna. Obviously, you're very, very familiar with him. He plays a lot of small pot poker in tournament play. You know, really is like a loose aggressive, kind of like your style.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes raising a lot in position, betting when other people miss. Is that kind of his whole, his whole thing?
Yeah, he does play he plays a lot of small pots. You know, when that big pot comes around, he usually has the best of it, which same as I do. And I just pick all those little small pots. I play pots, those small pots, which most like I feel like I can win play those big pots against players where I know they're going to throw away their chips to me, and it happens all the time. Like they see me win all these small pots, and I start over betting pots, and they're like, this guy's bluffing, and I'm playing a big pot against him, and I know they're going to pay me off, and they have to just keep paying me off on these big pots, and I keep winning, and I pick up the little small pots, And if I'm only playing small pots, if I don't think I have the best of it, what most players will do, and if they can pick the guy off. And usually they check, you bet the flop, they call, most time you give it up on the turn.
Well, these two have history right now here. Grinder, Barry and Kenna. Barry's got the best of Kenna on this show many times before. Barry raised it from pocket threes in mid-position. Kenna called with the queen jack. Kenna missed. He checked, and Barry, he's pretty aggressive post flop. He's going to make that continuation bet. He bets 400, and he's going to take it down. One of the other things, too, we have a lot of players that I think like to mirror your image and some of the loose, aggressive images of some tournament players out there. But they tend to play backwards, and that's when we get on them sometimes. I mean, we've got this guy that we call Corporation Mike in the game. The player's really, really loose, aggressive. He's a good player, raises a lot of pots, but then when he makes a big hand, he doesn't drive forward with it and build a big pot.
He just plays the small pots then.
Well, it's almost like he slow plays his big hands, which is really what's the point of that, right?
Might as well just open up. If you're gonna play crazy maniac, might as well just get the most out of your hand.
Right.
The best of it.
And I'm sure that's happened to you many times when someone thought you were full of it, right?
Yeah, I play cash games. I play a little more conservative. I played a lot of hands as well, and I mean, I play hands where I know I could win the hands, you know. And I'll pick if the guy has a big stack in front of him, I'll play those 4 or 5 suited. But if I'm not getting any value, and the guy has a small stack, I won't play those hands.
You're noticing your stack size and your opponent's stack size.
So that'd be the value for my call.
Now look at Russ. He's playing real conservative on the button. He had big slick suited, chose to just limp in after 3 limpers, and we see the flop limped around 4 ways. And Paul in seat 8 is going to bet out. He's got king jack. The flop is queen 9-4 rainbow. You can see there we get it. He's got a gut shot here to the 10. And that's probably going to take it down. I don't think Kenna's getting involved with ace 4. He does not.
No, he won't get it.
And he does take it down. Now, I've asked Kenna the same question. I like to ask a lot of really high-profile tournament players this question. What is really your strategy with the amount of tournaments coming up during the World Series? Are you looking for maximum exposure, meaning like you're going to pick out the ones that are going to be televised, or you're in the points race, you're just going to play the most that you possibly can?
Well, I have such a huge lead at this time, and I told Kenna, just write your schedule down, I'll follow behind you.
Yeah.
So I said, just make your schedule, and wherever you're at, I'll be there as well. And I took actually I took a long break. I took about I would say three to 4 weeks, and that's a pretty big break for me. And spent time with the kids. I went to Costa Rica to do a show, and I came back actually to the bike. I said, let's just go. I told my wife, let's go to California and just play at the bike, a couple tournaments.
Yeah.
And right when I come back, I win the next one. My twin brother gets second.
Your brother's been doing he's been doing well as well, you know.
Yeah, well, my twin brother, yeah, but he doesn't play as many as I do. But he plays a lot online, and he does really well. And he's a great player too. I mean, he just runs in the family.
Now, do you play online as well?
I play a lot online.
You play a lot online?
Not as much as I used to, because I play a lot of live now.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot bigger games live than online. But online, you get so many hands that you can learn. There's so much you can learn from online, playing 4 or 5 games at once, and then you pick it when you play that one time at a live, and you just remember those spots, and that just makes you better. Practice makes perfect, just like anything else.
Of course, if you want to keep this show interactive, as always, you can email us at live@thebike.com. Got a question for the grinder here. You can also post up on 2+2, where that live thread is started every night over in forums, World Poker Tour, etc. This one looks like it's going to get folded around the blinds. Now we're playing collection pot, so I doubt they're going to chop. And we're going to see it heads up here in the blinds. 6, 8, and 5, 9. Both players miss here.
Yeah, pretty much, actually.
Now, as you move up, looks like Barry's turned top pair here.
And an open net.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Yeah, 6-8's got open. Barry, has got 6-8. Harry has got the top pair. And Harry checks the 9 here from up front in seat 5. And it looks like Barry's going to make the little semi-bluff here. Oh, excuse me, it was a bet and a call. And the river here is a 4. A bet by Harry and a call by Barry. A little confusing with those rhythm names, rhyming names. And Harry takes it down there with a pair of 9s. So one of the fundamental things we actually talk about in this game, now that was a small pot, sometimes chasing flush draws, straight draws with paired boards. A lot of huge reversed implied odds sometimes when your card comes and you lose, right?
Yeah, like over there, probably with that straight draw, I probably wouldn't have called. But I'm just waiting for that one big pot.
Yeah.
I'm here for the action.
Button's going to move over here to seat number 5. Barry's in the small blind. Seat 7's in the big blind. Now, as you move up and up in these no-limit cash games, what would you say like the ratio is between guys who are professional poker players and guys that are really like action junkies, just rich businessmen?
Yeah, some guys do this for a living. These guys, you could tell which guy doesn't care or not. Like, I got to go home, and the way they act towards the table, I don't care anymore. It's like the other day, he was a pro. Like the other day, I was playing a cash game, and the board came. I raised pre-flop with ace king, and he called me with a 6-7 of clubs. and the board came a king with a 5-8 with 2 clubs.
That's what it's about.
And he said, I got
Many people.
I bet he raised me. I pushed in, and he called me, and he's like, "What do you got?" I said, "I got kings with an ace," and this guy got a flush with a straight draw. I was like, "You want to do anything?" I asked him. He asked me if I want to do anything. I said, "I don't mind, whatever you want to do." And he's like, I said, "We're probably almost even money right now. It's up to you." And he decided, he's like, "Let's gamble, let's go home." And he
Talking about
it.
running it multiple times.
Yeah, he wanted to run it twice.
Right.
And then he said, "Forget about it. Let's just gamble," and he ended up losing.
Now, that's interesting, that hand there. Russ raised with king 9 of diamonds, and Josh called from mid-position. And Josh just came out and bet a rag flop, and Russ folded. Again, Russ is playing a big game. Usually doesn't play at these levels. He's probably playing a little bit conservative over there in seat number 1. It is funny. Obviously there would never be a poker game if all the best players were in the game. So there's always going to be some.
Yeah, there's got a couple donkeys.
A couple donkeys. You said it, not me, right?
Yeah, I said it.
Barry Woods is going to raise here on the button. He's going to make it 220, 225 to go here, and it looks like he is going to take it down. It's funny. I actually floor emceed the WPT ladies event over the summer with your wife that was in there. I was switching off with Linda Johnson. Your wife had a pretty good showing there.
Yeah, she did. She had aces a few times.
Yeah. Almost got sucked out, I remember. Yeah. But, she made it through.
The blind structure, it moves a little high,
Right.
And there's a lot of gambling towards the end.
Right.
So, it gets more of a crapshoot towards the end. It just happened to be Jack 7 against 10-7.
Right.
Even though it's probably the 2 hands you're probably going to see with the blind so high.
Well, the funny thing is you've done, you said you're going to do a new GSN show, and you've done a lot of these televised kind of gimmick tournament type deals. And it seems like on those shows it's almost just like highlight reel. Like we see somebody's at 300,000 and then the next hand they're all in. And it seems like the blinds are moving up really, really high all the time.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I hear that Kenna's ripping on you in the background.
I hear.
He drank a lot of NyQuil the night before. I'm pretty sure that.
He's probably talking about the tournament. He beat me. It says Cowboy outguns the grinder. This is about a month ago. I finished second if he won it.
Look at this. Kenna's flopped a set of 6s here. He's up against Harry with pocket 7s. And Kenna's going to bet right into the set, and Harry makes a smooth call with 7s. The turn before, Kenna now fills up.
Wow.
And he's going to check it here. And look at this, he's induced. Seat 5 is going to bet 400 here, and let's see what Kenna's going to do. He's going to make the check call, and the river here's a 10. We're looking at about a $2,000 pot here.
I'd probably lead out right now. He's probably going to get a check if he doesn't lead out. I think Kenna should lead out right now, which he is. It's a good move.
He check called the turn when he made the full house, and now he's going to lead out in the river.
What he should have done.
And it looks like he's betting 2,000 there, 1,500 there.
Now the guy's a little confused, but now he could fold the guy. Now he probably gives him a 7-9, or it looks like Kenna made it straight right now. It's the only thing he can call for, and it wouldn't be a 9-10. So right now the guy's giving him a 7-9 probably.
Would Kenna ever bet busted diamonds like here on the river?
I don't think. Not Kenna, no. He wouldn't. Maybe in a tournament.
So there's really not a whole lot that Harry can beat here, right?
No, it's an easy fold.
That's a 15.
Unless you give him like unless Harry gave him a diamond draw, busted diamond draw. That's the only thing, yeah.
Right.
We're saying, but I don't think it should be a bad call.
The $1,500 bet. And look at this, he makes the call, and that pot's going to be over $5,000. And we talk about the image that Kenna gives off. Would Harry make that call with 7s, it's almost like just a bluff catcher, but it's against Kenna, and he can mix it up, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kenna made a good check call on the turn, and that's what caused the action on the end.
Caused him to be a little bit confused.
Yeah, confused him. He thought he was on a draw, and he felt there's only one hand. He felt Kenna could have a 9-10 there, or the only hand he could possibly be is a 7-9. He felt. Why would Kenna call him in turn with a 9-10 for a gut straight through?
One of the other things too that I always realize, especially around this time when we're doing Winning the Green series here, is a lot of tournament players that don't know how to adjust to cash games. They're continuing to play it as if they need to accumulate blinds.
They need to accumulate blinds. They need to accumulate a massive amount of chips.
Right.
Which it's a grind.
Right.
And that's why actually I picked up my name, The Grinder. It's mostly for cash games. And the part that says I'm a machine is for tournaments.
Yeah.
That's it.
$275 raise here by seat 7. And I got to tell you, as a professional no-limit cash game player, for the most part, when I have a guy come to the table that I know pretty much exclusively plays tournaments, it's usually a good thing because they can't necessarily make that adjustment over in ring games.
It's a big adjustment. It's a totally different style of play. And it's the hardest part about being a great poker player is adjusting.
Yeah. The button's going to move over here to Russ here in seat number 1.
Very nice.
Now, do you just pretty much play no limit ring games? Play any
No,
other
I
games?
play every single game.
Really?
Played
Play a big mix
7, I
game?
play Omaha Low Stud. I play Stud High is probably one of my best games.
Yeah.
Stud, I play Stud 8 or better. Every single poker game there is out there that's playing, I play it. I do really well. My weakest game probably right now is Badoogie because I just started.
Badoogie? Well, that's a kind of a gambling game,
Yeah, it
you
is
know?
a gambling game.
You don't really have, I mean, in terms of a draw game, they don't really have the skill that necessarily goes along with a deuce to 7, with all the dead cards and such that comes with deuce to 7. Kenna James is limped in the blind. We're going to see this heads up between the blinds. And Kenna here's got a gut shot. It goes check, check. Turn is an ace. Dan had a pair and the same gut shot. It's going to get checked all the way down here, it looks like. And the 3 is good. And there it is.
I probably would have won the pot.
Yeah. Ace 3, 4, 5 out on the board there.
I might take a little stab.
So is this game a little bit under the stakes that you normally play?
I would say it is.
Yeah.
But it's still, you know, you can still win a lot because it's a no limit game. And it just depends how much money people have in front of them. Determines whether if I'm going to play or not. If somebody's got 50,000, say a couple people have 50,000 at 25-50 no limit game. If I'm playing 100, 200 guys only have 20,000. I might play it with 25, 50 because
Right.
there's more money, there's more value for it.
Right.
And I can see plots are cheaper and try to bust them.
Look at this. Kenna's picked up big slick here. He's going to make it 150. He's got ace king of diamonds here. Now Dan's got pocket 8s in the small blind. And Dan, I'm getting word, just won an Ultimate Poker Challenge. Yep, he won, or he made it to the final table of a recent Ultimate Poker Challenge. He makes the call. And look at Barry, and Harry's in there with Queen 9. Yeah. And Harry flops a queen from up front. And Dan's going to fire out here with pocket 8s facing one overcall.
It's probably the right play. It'd probably save you a lot of money in the long run by stabbing out.
Harry makes the call with Queen 9. The turn's a 5. Dan picks up straight draw now. And he's going to check. 5 of spades here on the turn. And let's see what Harry's going to do here with the Queen 9. He's going to bet 500. And Dan gets away from him. He folds pocket 8s. Pretty straightforward stuff right there. Yeah, some people wrote into us and said that Dan Pagalis, if I'm pronouncing that rightly, he's the executive producer of the Ultimate Poker Challenge show. So there you go. Obviously that show that Chad Brown hosts around here. You ever checked out 2+2?
This morning.
Just this morning? Because I know a lot of the guys would have a real thrill if
I never actually
if you said
posted
they-
anything, but
sometimes you read through it.
I just
Yeah.
read through it. The bad stuff, the good stuff.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother you.
Not at
Sometimes
all.
you go over to
I
that.
laugh, actually.
Sometimes you go over to the gossip.
Yeah, I
Gossip
go,
forum.
read some gossip once in a while.
So many words.
Button's going to move over here to seat 3. Well, again, you know, when you actually came in, what the pause was that normally, if we have somebody back here in the booth, just to kind of protect, not necessarily the integrity of the game, we don't necessarily let them out and play on the table. But I got to throw this out at people that are listening to me. I wonder maybe if a seat opens and nobody objects at the table, if we'll get you in if nobody objects.
I don't think they'd mind.
So would that be something that you'd be willing to do?
I'd definitely play.
Yeah?
Doesn't seem like a great game, though.
Well, I mean, you know, a lot of, you know, it tightens up early, but I got to tell you, there's some action players on the table here. I mean, I've been watching some of these guys for over a year now.
I could change the way they play, though.
Yeah.
I'm good at that. I can make everyone gamble if I wanted to.
Button's going to move over here to seat 4. That's Gil. And, I mean, we got a couple people on the table that really have a huge difficulty laying down, say, top pair, top kicker for any amount of money, which is always good in a no-limit cash game, right? Yeah.
It never hurts to lay down the best hand.
Look at this. Barry Woods has got pocket queens in the big blinds here. He's in seat 6. Kenna's got a little 7-9 of clubs over there, and he's going to make a little raise. He's going to make it 150 to go here, 1 off the cutoff. Now Gil He's got garbage. He's going to fold on the button. And let's see if Barry comes over the top of him. It's heads up now, Grinder. So maybe if Barry wanted to finagle it a bit, but he's gonna make a re-raise. He's gonna re-raise at 300 more, and Kenna calls. And here we go. These two guys. Flop comes out 9-7 deuce. I think Barry might go broke here. Gonna make that prediction. Jack 6-10 here with a couple diamonds. Kenna's got a gut shot to the 8 here.
I don't think he'll. I think Kenna's gonna fold here.
Barry's gonna come out and bet big. He bets 1,000 here.
Easy fold.
Now these two really do have a long history on this show. Barry's gotten the best of Kenna on many occasions. But with 2 diamonds on board here, Kenna's not going to get involved. And Barry takes it down there.
What's the turn card? Put the turn card in the flash.
Yeah, we got a Wonder Cam here, a River Rabbit Cam's a deuce, and the River Cam's a king of diamonds. So what do you think about what we're trying to do here, a little live poker? We've been doing it for over a year.
How's it been going?
It's been great, man. I mean, we kind of have got like a little staff here, and, you know, we try to do the best that we can.
I think it's really cool.
Winging a big cash game. Have you heard of the show before?
Actually, I heard of it. Last time I was here, I heard of it.
During
When she
Legends?
Yeah, the Legends.
Yeah.
She was playing the ladies' night.
Let's take a look at the first chip count of the night. We've got almost $50,000 on the table. And let's take a look at how these players are doing from about 6:50 tonight, about 30 minutes ago.
Okay.
Well, let's see. There we go. We had it there for a second. There's the differences. Barry is actually up. We haven't seen him win that much, but maybe before the show he's up over about $3,000. Look at Kenna. He's up $2,500 for the night here as well. So there you go.
Is the max buying 3,000?
No, the min buy-in is 3,000,
Oh, the min.
uncapped.
Uncapped.
It's 25.50 uncapped. Yep. So it can be really big here. Seat number 2 made it 150 to go. That's Kenna with Queen Jack, and 2 people called here. Flop comes out 9-8-4. It's missed everyone. We got an ace-5 of spades, and we actually have 10-3 of clubs in the hand. Now Kenna's going to make a continuation bet here out of seat 2.
I don't think I ever had
Harry is not in the hand in seat 5. And here, you know, this is vintage Kenna James here. He raises, everybody misses the flop, he bets, and he's probably going to take it down here, right?
Yeah, I probably will. But I mean, he's betting against 3 players. I mean, it's pretty tough. It might work out for him, and it will.
Yeah, he's got overcards and a gut shot, and he's going to take it down there. You know, a lot of times people also get involved with these hands. It was similar. I was playing with Josh earlier this afternoon, where they feel like they need to play every suited hand, regardless of position. I just thought it was a little interesting that Josh made a call there in the big blind with 10-3 of clubs, a hand that I really don't find a whole lot of value in a cash game from up front.
Well, it just depends. Like I was saying, it depends on their stack. You know, that determines your value of your call. If they have a huge stack, I might call. But if they got a real small stack, I probably wouldn't end up calling. This is a terrible hand. Maybe you got to flop that monster hand.
117 for 9 player plus 25.
And this is going to be a collection pot here.
Somebody's got aces.
Yep. We got aces over there in seat 1. That's Russ.
I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best to try and pay it.
And he looks like he is going to raise it up here.
Oh, you want
He's going to make it 150. He's only making it 3 times the big blind. Sometimes this game plays a lot bigger than that. Kenna's going to call with a little Broadway suited here, Queen Jack suited. I get a new love for Queen Jack suited when the flop comes out Ace King 10 and I'm up against a set of aces or kings, right? It's a nice little flop.
The odds are way against that to happen. You got to hit bingo on this flop.
And look at this, Russ is going to bring in 5 people calling here. And we've got a pot of almost $900. The flop comes out Queen 9-7 with a couple of clubs. Now Russ is actually good right here, it looks like.
Yeah, he's the best hand.
He checked it from up front, Grinder. He did not continue to bet. And Kenna is going to come out and bet, figures Queen Jack might be the best hand. He's going to bet 450.
Kenna's in 3rd place right now.
And look at this. Look what Russ has done. Russ has checked the flop. Kenna has bet with Queen Jack. And Harry's going to raise him with King Queen. Where are you now with your aces?
You're a little lost down, man.
Yeah.
You should have stabbed out, probably. And you could probably take a re-raise. A re-raise wouldn't be that bad now. And if they came over the top of you, then you might have to lay it down. But I'd probably give a little raise here and see what happens on the turn and probably stab out. And if you get raised on the turn, if you just flat call your turn, I'll stab on the turn. If I see a raggedy card like a 7, if a queen or jack or king comes, I'll probably give it up because I wouldn't like that card. I know someone's got top pair.
Well,
I need a
again,
cocktail for this.
Russ has played really conservative, but we get a bet by Kenna to 450, a raise to 1,000 by Harry, and the pot now is about 2,400. It's 1,000 for Russ to call here, I believe. Actually, is it 1,000 more, Donna, out there? 1,000 more. So it's actually about a $2,800 pot, and it's $1,450 for him to call.
He'd probably end up folding now. He's lost in the hand.
He's got about 7,000 in front of him.
I'd probably re-raise here. Not blonde, but it's like. I don't know.
Don't listen to that lady out on the floor, Grinder. We're trying to do a poker show in here. He's put in a real tough spot here, and he is going to re-raise here.
Yeah, that's going to probably win in the pot. That should win in the pot.
That's 100 extra.
A check, a bet, a raise, and a re-raise. There's no way you can think your ranking's good. And he opened up for a raise pre-flop. So I'm sure he's thinking in his mind he's probably got a set of nines.
21.
Or he could easily have an overpair.
And look at this. Harry makes a call here without even a second thought.
Yeah,
And the pot's going to be about $8,000 here. Here we go to the turn. It's a club. Harry's going to redraw with the queen of clubs, but it does not come. Wow. I got to tell you, Grinder, I mean, part of the reason why I might stab out on that flop is, you know, you're put into a situation when you check and Kenna bets and this guy raises.
Now you're lost in the hand.
Yeah.
Baby, if he's not all in,
And he just gambled and re-raised, hoping that no one has a two-pair set. So he did get lost in the hand. That wasn't a credit. I disagree with that play. I would have stopped out.
The other thing, too, is if you have guys who are good enough in the game to raise with their sets, raise with their big hands, and with their big semi-bluffs, even an 8-10 of clubs, I don't want to be up against with that flop, right?
So if you bet the other guy raises, the other guy might just flat call, then you can re-raise. You at least more of what you have. And then when you see a bet and a raise, you know, you're a little confused.
Interesting hand.
big deal. You fold the winner probably 10 times a night.
And the button's going to move over here to seat number 7. So, yeah, you know, if we can get you in the game, we'd love to have you in the game, if you're interested. If
They allow me.
If the people don't object at the table.
Like a cheetah.
You should say thank you to Kenna because he took his time before we put his raise.
Yeah, that's right. They did.
Big blind's going to move over here to Allen, because I think Harry just left, and I'm not sure if he's coming back to the table in seat 5.
Technically,
Again, we're playing 25-50 no limit hold'em with an unrestricted max buy-in here.
Hopefully Ken has a spare 100,000 on me to let me. I got it in commerce. Right?
Paid the collection.
Hey, it looks like Ken is actually playing over the host of the game, Mo. That's indicated by that white cube there next to Kenna.
Oh, is he playing over something?
Yeah, he's playing over over Mo, the host of the
if he
game.
doesn't have any money on there, then
You got $15.
Looks like it's going to get limped around. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot out there right now.
I'm saying if
So after this tournament, like, what's your plans right now? You're going to gear up for the World Series?
Well, after this time, I'm going straight to Reno.
Yeah.
Then from there, I go to probably Foxwoods.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to win World Poker Tour Player of the Year. I haven't played that many tournaments this year for season 4 for World Poker Tour, and I decided, you know, I have a chance now to win it over Gavin Smith. Gavin Smith's in the lead for the point race in the World Poker Tour. So there's about 3 tournaments left, and hopefully I'll make a final table to win that. And then I'm chasing for Player of the Year, and I feel like this is my year, and I have a huge lead. And right now, the only person right behind me is Kenna. He's behind 1300 points. But I like my chances right now.
Look at this. Gil is bet with Queen 10, and Josh has made a move and raised him with pocket 3s, and Gil calls the second pair, and he's got a straight draw to the jack.
Look great. Look great.
Gil's going to check, and Josh is really trying to represent something here. He's going to bet here again.
Like 800.
say that again louder.
Yeah, it looks like 800.
I love that.
And that's going to do it there, Grinder. Aggressive play there with pocket 3s. Rabbit Cam shows a third queen on the river. You wonder, obviously, I don't know if Gil was going to get away with it there.
I got it in,
And the button's going to move over here to seat number 8.
I got it in, yeah, I got it
The way he's lifting those chips, he felt like it was a gift.
Yeah. I mean,
Stacking it.
obviously it's one thing to make that type of move in a cash game, or in a tournament for that matter. I mean, I guess he was making a move against Gil, but again, I sometimes see tournament players really push it for something like that.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, hey,
It's
look
more
at
of a
this.
tournament move.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah. I mean, he's probably accustomed to playing tournaments
people that only have one life. In a cash game, you have multiple lives, and you can't make that many moves. You don't have to.
Right. Pocket 5's here for straight 3. He's going to limp in. And Gil has got ace queen over there in seat 4. He's going to raise. He's going to make it 300 to go. And after this hand grinder, let's see if we can probably get you out into that game. I don't think Dan is going to get involved, and Gil's going to take it down. Hey, it was a pleasure meeting you and having you come by the booth. I really appreciate it. And hey, can you sign our board back here?
Got it.
Right back here. We put the board back up here. This is all the famous names we've had in the booth. There's a little Sharpie right there. Oops. And if you could sign that, that would be great. There he is, Grinder. Pleasure coming back, having some commentary. Plays in a lot of ring games, and good luck to you in your tournament quest this year, man.
Thanks a lot.
Take it easy, and good luck out there.
You guys too.
Button's going to move over here to seat 9, Alan.
What's up, babe?
Everybody was pulling for you, especially in the
Yeah? No, I know. Everybody's going for me in the cash game. Great.
Hey, how are you? How you doing?
And we're going to have a little raise here. Flop comes out King 10 8. And it was actually limped around, and it gets checked around. The turn's a queen, and Alan has a pair and a straight draw now. Welcome back, David. Yeah. River is a 10. Alan makes trip 10s.
And Alan's never going to put any money in the pot.
Well, I think he might now. Well, Kenna's going to come out and bet as a bluff with deuce 7 offsuit.
He's going to take a shot at it.
And I think Alan's going to call.
You don't think Alan's going to raise this?
Well,
nope, he's going to call.
yeah, he does just call. And Kenna shows the deuce 7 offsuit, and he takes it down.
I got to tell you, man, how cool is that? We get Barry Greenstein, we get Doyle Brunson, we got the Grinder. Absolutely rocking. I actually just went into the tournament to check out, go say hi to Barry, see if his son Joe was here. And Joe is not here, and Barry is chipped, so we probably won't get Barry tonight.
I don't know if you were in the room, Dave, and I didn't go all Bart Gasm on the Grinder here in his ear. But Russ had raised with pocket aces from up front. The flop came out queen 9 7 of clubs.
Yeah.
He raised it to 150. He made it 3 times the big blind, and he got 5 callers. He checked, Kenna bet, and the guy in seat 5 raised him. And I was asking the Grinder, boy, where the hell do you know where you're at now with aces, right?
Right.
And Russ actually made the re-raise and took it down. But it was kind of a little bit, Russ puts himself in a spot when I think he sometimes takes a slow playing the overpair.
Yeah. Definitely puts himself in a spot there. I mean, if he re-raises and gets called, obviously it's really tough.
Right. Again, you can email us at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions.
We will continue to bring you the best players in the game
I wish I chopped, but I just don't.
on here at Live at the Bike, folks.
Queen 9-3 here, a couple spades, turns a king of spades, fourth spade. We're heads up between Kenna and Dan here, and the river is a king.
Well, I know Ken has got an 8 of diamonds, and 8 of diamonds is the best hand, folks.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, and sure enough, he's got 8 high, and that's going to win it.
Dan here, I was also saying, he's actually the executive producer of the Ultimate Poker Challenge.
Really? In seat number 3?
Yeah, some people wrote in there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Button's going to move over here to seat 2.
Well, there you go. It's always funny when we get somebody, personality in here. Last night, obviously, we had, Kenna James. Tonight, we get the Grinder. Who knows? Tomorrow night, maybe we'll have Barry Greenstein. And it's always funny for me because I'll sit in here and I'll listen to him for a little while. And then I don't want to kind of hover over him. So
right.
I want to make sure that he feels like he can stay here as long as he wants.
Right.
So I go for a walk, and I go talk to Mo, and I go into the tournament, and I start walking around, and I start looking at games, and I just want to sit down and play. But I know I can't, so I'm just kind of walking around, wandering around like some sort of homeless person.
Well, the next time we get a big name in here, you can you do
No, it's all you, man. I tell you, I do the interviews out there on the floor, you do the interviews in here.
Well, that's what I was kind of, I feel kind of bad because we had the opportunity to have Mark Safe in here way back when over the summer. And a couple of times now people have come into the booth and we were kind of getting away from that. I remember Matt Savage came into the booth and then he played, and now we're kind of trying to make an exception for the Grinder. and we missed that opportunity with Mark Safe. And it was a little bit my fault.
Yeah, I might have to do that one.
Yeah. We got a $300 raise here, pocket fives.
Well, we know Mark will be back in the Bicycle Casino at some point, and hopefully we can, we'll suck up to him a little bit, and we'll get him back in here. No big deal.
So seat number 3 is raised with pocket fives, and Paul is going to call here with pocket sevens. And
So the game's been pretty good action so far, huh?
yeah, it hasn't been too bad. Kenna's out of there, and we're heads up here. Pot is going to be about, I want to say about
800?
8 or 900 to the flop. Well, interesting flop here.
Yeah, it's not a bad flop for either one, is it?
No.
Only really one overcard. You're not really scared of a 3 in a raised pot here.
Dan's going to come out and bet 600.
And that's the problem with Paul is Paul was not born yesterday. He's not scared of a 10. He's not really scared of the 3s, but he is scared of, say, pocket 8s, pocket 9s, pocket jacks, and pocket queens.
Right.
And he's not going to get involved. He's going to throw this away.
And he does throw it away. And Dan is going to take it down. I want to tell everybody this. I'm just going to say this, once tonight. If you're having a little bit of trouble with the feed, we're actually in the process of upgrading.
Are we?
Yes.
Great.
And you can always catch this on the replay if you're having trouble with it being a choppy feed. Of course, we replay the show an hour after the show, on a loop all the way up until the next day at about 5 Pacific time. You can also catch the entire show on Sunday afternoon starting at noon Pacific time.
But it's funny. Sometimes I'll watch the show,
Yeah.
or bits and pieces of it in the morning. When I wake up, I'll have a cup of coffee and I'll sit there and I'll kind of watch it and see what I did and what you did and what was going on. You can also email us then. Obviously, we can't answer the email right there on the spot, but we will answer it the following day.
Right. We got a $300 raise here by seat 3. He's got pocket jacks. That's Dan over there. Now Barry's got king jack here, Dave. Kind of that dominated treble hand. And he's going to get rid of it.
I guess the vacation really did him wonders.
The new Barry Woods. And Alan's got a suited connector. Well, Alan's really not that deep. And it's interesting to note that the grinder was talking about how you have to notice how deep you are when you make these calls with certain hands to bust a guy. Fundamental no limit hold'em.
Really is. And you see these players tighten up a little bit in this game, particularly in this game.
Right.
A couple of familiar faces not in the game tonight. Jonas is not here tonight, and Corporation Mike not in the game, and Trish not in the game tonight.
Yeah. I got to tell you though, when I was playing next to Mo today, and West Hollywood Henry called him on the phone. He said he's coming down.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. We-ho he. Hey, once again, we're live at the bike, folks. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. We had a grinder on just a couple of minutes ago, and you're watching No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are 25.50. Seems like a really nice guy, the grinder.
Yeah, he does.
Like I said, I actually played in the Pot Limit Hold'em tournament with him, and he's really a very good player as well. Obviously very good, but his instincts are right on.
Now we're going to get a raise here from Gil with pocket sevens. He's going to make it 425 here, Dave. Looks like a bunch of people had limped in.
Yeah, some dead money in there. See if Gil's tight image can pick up
now,
the dead
Dan
money.
has ace-jack of diamonds in seat 3. Kind of give you a heads up there, Ronnie, because I know he's not showing his cards, but I saw it.
Now, he's out of position, though.
Yeah.
But wow, Russell's going to call this with ace-9 off.
Yeah,
out of
he makes the
position.
call.
And is that going to bring Dan in here now? Problem is, do you really want to get involved out of position with a hand that can be dominated? No, and the answer is no.
But Russ is in there with ace-9. We've got over $1,000 pot here going to the flop.
And you can see, what is your opinion right away? You can see that just by this one sequence of what's going on here.
Right.
Russ calling a raise out of position with ace-9 offsuit. Dan folding ace-jack suited out of position. Your opinion, obviously, of these two players weighed by that play right there.
Gil's going to make an $850 continuation bet, and I'm sure that's going to do the job here, Dave.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. I don't think Russ can call. Did Russ actually buy in for $10,000? Or has he won a big pot?
He won that big pot with aces. The funny thing,
right.
the most interesting thing about that hand, even though I criticized Russ, again, he raised it only to 150 with aces.
Got 5 callers.
Got 5 callers. The flop came out queen 9-7 with 2 clubs.
Okay.
He bet. No, he checked. Kenna bet and seat 5 raised. Now,
It's not a terrible flop for aces, is it?
Now Russ re-raises.
Right.
Kenna folds, and the guy in seat 5 moves all in with king-queen. That's got to show some lights there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is, though, it still is a raised pot.
Yeah.
And you got to look at it and go, wow, queen 9-7.
Yeah.
What was he in there with? Jack 10. Maybe he's got 2 clubs. Maybe he's got ace queen even.
Yeah.
two pairs not real likely there. I mean, obviously he could have it, but more likely either has a set, or he's got a club draw, or just top pair.
Now look at this. Russ is going to get up and let the grinder play over him here, Dave. What a nice guy.
Yeah, really nice guy.
Yeah. Teal's got pocket kings, and he's going to raise. He's going to make it 325.
And obviously, I guess we asked everybody at the table if it was okay if the grinder would play, and they all said it was.
And Gil shows the kings, and he takes it down.
Look at this action, folks. Where else can you find a live cash game? We're talking live cash, no limit hold'em, 25-50 blinds. We've got Kenna James and the grinder. I mean, we're talking first and second place in the card player standings, right?
And I think that Kenna has just given Russ the money that he has, and I think Grinder's just going to slip right in. Oh, maybe not.
You have an ace in your hand?
I thought that maybe Kenna gave Russ the money there.
Well, I don't think Russ wants to lose his seat, though.
Yeah, I think that the Grinder's going to play over him.
Yeah, exactly.
Button's over there in seat number 7.
The funny thing is, you see Kenna James out here, Michael Mizrachi, you see the grinder out here, you kind of wonder who's left in the tournament still.
Right. This is going to get folded around here. We're in for one action-packed night here.
Obviously, the tournament today, by the way, winning of the green tournament to no limit hold'em. $1,000 buy-in tournament started at 4:15 p.m.
Yep.
Some big names here playing in that tournament.
Yep.
On Friday is our main event winning of the green. It's a $2,500 buy-in tournament. But we have some mega satellites on tomorrow and Friday to get into it. So you can kind of get in for $265.
Button's going to move over to Paul here. And Grinder is in for Russ's chips, 10,000, Dave. I think that's what Russ was at. So Russ made some nice change here. He's up about 5,000 or 6,000 from that one pot.
Yeah, well, I noticed seat number 5 there. Obviously, he put all his money in there with King Queen.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't see that hand. But we also I saw him make a big call against. Not a very good call actually against
Kenna.
Kenna there with the pocket sevens.
Yeah.
When there really wasn't much you could beat, except the bluff.
And again, I kind of asked the Grinder, I mean, would Kenna bet like this with busted diamonds, check call, lead out, then check call, and then bet out with busted diamonds? I guess that's the only thing you can beat there, right?
But the interesting thing is, would he? He might. We've seen him do that.
Right.
In a cash game, that is.
Barry's going to make this 175 to go here with ace-9 off suit. Grinder's got deuce 4 of hearts here. He's 10,000 behind, and Barry's deep too. Looks like Grinder's going to come in here, Dave. He does call with that little gap suited connector, and Harry's got a 3-gapper there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Grinder knows Barry Woods, but he's in there with the right guy, because if he hits his hand and Barry hits his hand, he might get paid.
3-way action here.
Wow.
Grinder's got bottom 2 pair. It's all clubs on board.
How do you do that?
And he's going to come out and bet here. He's going to bet 400. Now, luckily for Barry, I think he can easily get away from him. Now, Harry's got middle pair.
And he's got no club in there. I mean, this is a pretty easy lay down by Barry.
Now, does Barry think that this guy's going to muscle him around the table?
But even if the Grinder is muscling with, say, King Queen with the King of Clubs.
Yeah. And look at this. Barry's going to call here, Dave. Pot is over $1,000. Oh, the turn's a 3rd club.
Wow. Well, wait a second, though. Can Barry represent here?
Grinder's going to check. 4th club on the turn.
Man, I got to tell you, if you're going to call the Grinder here, you got to make ace-9. You got to make a move,
Yeah,
right?
you got to make this move here, Barry.
You have to assume that you're making this move with the club.
And he's going to come out and bet here.
And he really puts the Grinder to the test here. I mean, can you call with 2 pair here?
Barry's going to bet here. Looks like 1,000.
And I said the Grinder's got some great instincts.
And the Grinder folds.
Yeah, he's not going to get involved.
What a great move there by Barry representing the club.
Yeah.
Trying to kind of figure out what he was doing there on the flop. Again, if you want to keep the show interactive, you can always email us at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions. As always, much appreciated. Button's going to move over to Alan, and I think we're in for an action-packed night, like I said before, Dave.
Oh, yeah. Wednesday nights rock here at Live at the Bike, folks.
I thought this game didn't matter. Nobody.
And I was looking around. I mean, we've got like 5 10 games, like 2 10-20 games. I mean, it's
I can't wait to get out there, Dave.
Yeah, licking your chops. Huh?
Tournament donks. Huh?
Well, you told me you had your first losing day today in weeks, right?
Right.
And you're down $50. I guess you want to go out there and make sure and turn that around, huh?
Right. Limped around here, and we're going to see it looks like 3 or 4 ways. Got to get the grinder to put his cards there in the window. King Jack 8 on the flop. Looks like the grinder's got 7-10 here.
I think that's a pretty good guess.
And Paul is going to bet here with Queen 5 of spades, and he's going to take it down.
Take it down, Paul.
Paul takes it down there. And the grinder said he does sometimes read 2+2. That has never really posted there. But it's been kind of quiet so far. Get your emails in here to live@thebike.com. Tell me what the shirt is in Japanese. Any Japanese speaking people out there? In Barry Wood's got this shirt. It's got a purpose. Got it in Australia.
He wants like 5,000 behind.
And I can tell you, it does not mean Asian nipples. Somebody put that on 2+2.
Yeah, no, I don't think that means that. Button moves over to seat 1. Small blind, $25. Big blind is Dan, $50. And seat number 5, Harry is going to raise it up a little bit. He's got ace-8 suited. Fold, 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 fold. Goes over to the grinder, and he's going to call on the button with 9-10.
Yep.
And that's going to bring in Kenna. Kenna's got Jack-8 suited.
And seat number 3 is going to call here.
Yeah, well, that brings Dan in there with pocket 6s. And we got this 4 ways. Pot is now 600.
Yep. Kenna's in there with Jack-8 of spades, and the flop comes out 10-3-3 here.
Well, you know what? Yeah, Kenna's actually got Jack-8 of spades.
Yep. And it gets checked over to the grinder, and he's going to bet here 275, and that's why Kenna easily folded there, because he does not have top pair. He folds.
Yeah.
And the grinder's going to take it down. How does he do it?
Flop top pair on the button. Everybody checks to you. Hey,
yeah.
Why not?
And actually, we're getting word that the grinder bought in for $15,000 to be exact, Dave. So we got a lot of money on this table.
Well, obviously, he's comfortable playing at these levels.
Well, he's saying that he's played 200, 400, up to 200, 400, no limit before.
Right. I mean, sometimes players can be too comfortable.
Right. Button's going to move over here to seat number 2. That's Kenna James. Go to his website, kennajames.com, as always. Hide your pets when it loads, because the gunshots seem to scare them.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people written in. It's like, my cat almost had a heart attack when I loaded that page.
Was it kind of like shooting, blazing?
It's just like, yeah, it's a bullet, sound effect of bullets coming in.
Funny.
Seat number 7 is going to limp in here with King Jack. Paul's going to come in with the 7-4 of clubs over there in seat 8.
George, are you still in?
Grinder's not going to get involved. And Kenna's got a weak ace. Is he going to get involved on the button? Ace-7 offsuit.
Well, it's limped around here in 2 spots.
The hand really doesn't have much value, but the button does. The position does.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to make it 300 to go here.
He might just take this down right here now.
Well, we know that Paul's probably not going to get involved. He's pretty tight. Now, is Josh going to get involved with King Jack offsuit from early position? He does not.
Yeah. And
Kenna is going to take it down here.
And that's the value of that hand. The value is in this position, not in the hand.
Right.
150, lose 2,000.
As you can tell, the white chips are $100 chips. The purple chips are $25 chips. Big green ones are thousands, and big light purples are 5,000s. I don't know if we've got those 1,000 chips on the table right now.
Somebody must have
Grinder
them.
must have them somewhere over there. But he's got more chips coming behind, and the plaza's just crazy, Dave. So.
Oh, the action is absolutely intense. There's actually 2 200, 400 mixed games going right now.
Grinder's got a good old king-queen suited, that Chris Ferguson commercial hand, that PlayStation commercial.
Pocket 5s for Allen. Allen's going the speed limit.
Yeah. And Grinder looks like he's going to raise it up here, Dave. He's going to make it 250 to go.
That's 5 times the big blind.
Yeah. Which is why I kind of question Russ's pre-flop raise to 150 with aces. Kind of like what we said, kind of like a stop raise.
Yeah.
Barry calls with king 10. He's dominated, and Allen's in there with pocket 5s. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow, and here comes the king. Grinder and Barry both have top pairs with gut shots. King 9 Jack with 2 diamonds.
And neither player wants to make 2 pair.
And look at this. Barry comes right out and bet from early position. He's going to bet 500.
Now, the only thing I'm wondering now is the grinder, is this an automatic? I mean, like, he doesn't know he's ahead here.
Grinder makes the
King
call.
Jack.
The turn's
wow.
a queen. It's a 3rd diamond. It gives Grinder 2 pair, but Barry's got the straight.
Yes.
The pot's 1,800 here, folks.
And the grinder does have outs. He needs the case king to come out or a queen.
And Barry's going to bet again.
Wow.
He's going to bet 1,100 into about an
And this is the second time
pot.
the grinder has had 2 pair against Barry and is in a tough spot.
And the grinder makes a call here, Dave, and we're looking at about a $4,000 pot to the river. And the river's a 4th diamond. Who's going to represent?
Oh, wow. And Barry's out of position. What is going to happen?
He checks. Is the grinder going to check down 2 pair? He is not.
Well, I think he thinks he has to bet.
He's going to bet here.
2,000?
Looks like 1,800.
1,800. The pot is about...
The pot is about 5,800. It's 1,800 for Barry to call. He's got the best hand with the straight here. The grinder does not have a diamond.
Wow.
1,800, 5,800 to call.
Now, the only thing that's interesting, the grinder's not... You don't think the grinder's betting this for value. You got to think that he's betting this trying to get Barry off a better hand. Maybe a weak diamond?
Maybe a weak diamond or a straight, right?
Man.
I mean, there isn't a whole lot that the grinder can beat out there if someone has a made hand on this board.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious. It was pretty obvious Barry did not like the diamond in the river, but at this point the pot is 5,800. He's getting more than 3 to 1 to call. I think he has to call, doesn't he?
3 to 1 to call. Well, and he makes the call. The Barry Woods-esque call here. Grinder shows king queen, and Barry has called here with the straight.
And look at
the grinder. He's dumbfounded. Welcome to Live at the Bike.
Yeah, he said, "Wow."
Yep.
And I got to tell you, a lot of these guys, they'll play elsewhere. But once they come to the bike, and once they play here, we suck them in.
Right.
They play here, they see the players that play here, they never want to leave again.
Yep. Great hand there.
I want to thank Barry Woods there. He is now going to make the grinder a repeat customer.
Yep.
And he catches 3 outer on him when he says that.
Yep. Wow.
Only a queen would have given him the win. Obviously, 10 was no good.
Yep. Collection pot here, Dave.
I'm really wondering if you bet that as a bluff or as a value bet. I've got to ask him.
No, I think it's got to be a bluff. Why would you bet it as a value bet? Well, Barry can't call anything that he doesn't beat with king queen. What is he going to call that's going to get beaten? I think that's a no-brainer. He's trying to get him off again. I could tell
he's not betting enough. Then $1,800 to $5,800 pot.
Really? He's trying to risk the minimum to try to get him off.
Yeah, make it
like
look at a value bet, I guess. Okay.
I mean, Grinder knew he was beat when Barry called him. Grinder was reluctant to turn over his cards.
Right.
5-way action here. It's limped around.
I guess it's funny because you and I, we know Barry so well.
Yeah.
And there's no way you're going to get him off with an $1,800 bet there. Not Barry.
Barry's going to bet 150 here with queen 6, and Allen's got the best hand here with king queen. Grinder's got a gut shot to the jack. And oftentimes Allen will, it's the new Allen, he might raise here with king queen, Dave.
I think he will raises.
And he does.
Yeah, top pair, good kicker.
Yeah. Grinder's out of there with the gut shot.
Allen's game is really improved.
And this is really easy. I think this is an easy laydown for Barry. We just saw him make a great read and a call. But come on, Barry.
Yeah, he knows Allen.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the flop. What do you think? Allen's making a check raise and Jack 10?
Not a check raise, but a raise.
I mean, a raise. Have you ever seen Allen raise a Jack 10 there? Never.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, Allen might even have you drawing dead. He might have queen 9 right now. He might have a set. Actually, no. If he had a set, he'd probably slow play it. But he could easily have 2 pair. Any way you look at it, there's no way queen 6 can be good.
And Barry correctly folds it, and Allen takes it down there.
And it's funny, I mean, watching Allen's game over the past few months, Allen has improved his game tenfold. He's still prone to making a lot of mistakes, and I saw actually last night, he made a pretty bad mistake and went broke and went home with a bad call. But compared to 6 months ago, Allen, he is, miles ahead of him.
Right. Of course, you can also Skype us, Dave, as always. Go to Skype and go to Live at the Bike.
Send us a voice message.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll play it on the air. Harry's got aces, folks. And, wow, we're going to get a raise. The grinder's going to raise it in middle position with queen 9. Offsuit.
And Harry is just going to smooth call here with aces.
And he's going to try to play a little trap game. And look at that. Luckily for him, he gets it heads up.
Yep. And the grinder saw how Harry made that call quickly with king queen in here earlier. Here we go to the flop. Queen 9 against aces.
Well, you know what? It's not a terrible flop for queen 9. He's got outs.
And the grinder bets here. He bets 225.
anytime you've got outs against aces is pretty good. And if he catches an 8, he's got the outs, but Harry's not real deep, is he?
Doesn't look. Well, he's got about 5,000 behind.
Oh, he does.
him.
Okay.
And he's going to raise. Pot right now is about 700, and the grinder just easily folds his hand.
Yeah, throws it away.
And Harry's going to take it down there.
And he shows the aces.
Wow.
Wow. Once again, live at the bike, folks. You can catch us every Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. Wednesdays are always our big game, 25, 50 blinds. I mean, this game's huge.
How much are they saving?
I mean, I'm just estimating, but I'm probably estimating we probably have close to $80,000 or $90,000 on the table.
Jackpot. 25 here, 104.
Button's going to move over here to seat 7.
Not much for a table.
And if you're playing online somewhere, hey, let everybody know that we have to get the grinder at the table.
Grinder with Kenna James. And of course, people familiar with Barry Woods, live at the bike playing. Kenna James has been a little bit quiet so far. He did pick up a pretty nice pot there with that full house.
Well, a lot of times when he comes down to the table, a lot of times he tries to run the table over and he's having a good time. He doesn't mind splashing around a couple $1,000. I think he wants to win tonight.
Yeah. Well, seat number 3 here is going to raise. Looks like he's got pocket 5s. He's made this raise a bunch of times before here. He made it 250 to go with 5s.
Well, he seems to he likes to limp in with, say, ace-jack, ace-queen, but he likes to raise when he's got any pocket pair.
Now, Harry, he mucks the little suited connector there, kind of surprising, 5-6 of spades, but Barry calls with an ace-7 of spades. And Kenna folds the queen-jack from up front. We're heads up here. Pocket 5s against ace-7. Pot's about $600. Well, Barry catches the ace, but, not really a huge hand for that type of flop.
Barry's been involved with 3 or 4 flushes all night, hasn't he?
Dan checks, and Barry's going to bet.
Pretty easy lay down here for Dan. Obviously, Dan's got nothing here.
Yep.
Pretty ugly flop for pocket 5s.
Yep. Look at this. We finally got it here. I was wondering if we had a Japanese speaker. Michael D. Shu. And I had a buddy who spelled his name H-S-U, so I know that's how it's pronounced, Shu. Love the show. The 2 big characters on your shirt says lonely body. Pretty much it says that you are single in Mandarin. Thank you, Michael. Well, actually, he says Michael Poo.
Mike Poo.
Oh. Very good, sir. Very good.
Lonely body.
Yep.
How sad.
Button's going to move over here to Paul in seat number 7.
Allen in the small blind, $25. Big blind is the grinder.
Yep.
Kenna James is under the gun.
And some people were getting on our delay here. Some people saying, kind of agreeing with you, Dave, that the bet wasn't quite big enough to get Barry off that hand.
It depends who you're playing against. The grinder obviously is not nearly as familiar as we are or our viewers are with Barry Woods. We both know if you want to get Barry Woods off that hand, you probably got to bet 3,000. You probably have to bet half the pot.
Limped around
Maybe
here.
even 4,000.
And Grinder checks it out of the big blind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-way action here, Dave. 9, 9, 3, and Paul's got trip 9s.
Yeah, let's see how Paul plays it. I'm really
He's
curious.
on the button.
Yeah, I'm almost positive I'll put some money in if nobody else does.
It is a rainbow board. Now Josh looks like he's going to stab at it here with ace high, Dave.
Well, now Paul might just call. We'll see what happens. It's not a scary board. 993 rainbow.
He bets 275, and Paul just calls.
Immediately calls.
Yep.
Now what do you do with your ace there? Paul has called you.
Barry's out of there.
Paul's got minimum 2 pair, right? Minimum 9s and 7s or 9s and 6s, something like that.
Pot is $800 here to the turn. The turn's a queen. See if Josh just gives it up now.
Hey, Josh is drawing dead, folks.
Wow, he looks like he's going in for more, Dave. He's pretty short. He's going to bet 600 to about an $850 pot.
Now, Paul had, let's say Paul had pocket 7s. And Paul would limp in with pocket 7s and probably play it the exact same way. This would put him a little more to the test. The bet's probably not big enough, though, to get him off pocket 7s, but Paul's trying to decide here, what do I do here? Do I raise it or do I call one more time? Clearly he's not going to fold it.
He makes the call, just the smooth call.
Makes it look like a crying call almost.
Pots about 25, rivers of 5.
And is Josh going to give up here? I mean, there's a point where you just go, you know what? I can't get this
He
guy's
doesn't
hand.
even cover the pot now. Pot's ballooned to 2,500. He might have about 1,000
Yeah,
left.
he just gives up.
He checks. Now, at this point, if you're Paul, you always, say that there's a lot of value in obviously not showing your hand down. He's going to bet. He bets 1,000.
Oh, I think this is a no-brainer. I think you have to bet this. The guy checks with you on the river.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you scared of? Jack 9? You think the guy check Jack 9 team? Especially because you got also like Josh only's got about another maybe 1,800.
Well, and the other thing that we always bring up on the show about when you're talking about trips and you think the other guy might have trips, that's a pretty good hand that Paul has unless the other guy has ace 9. If he gets sent you on the river.
Yeah, and maybe Jack 9 suited.
Yeah.
But he also could have 9-7 or 9-8.
Yeah.
I think Paul was pretty sure he had the best hand the whole way.
Yep. Here you go. Jay-Z Piano says, bet 3,000 and I think he folds.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Barry folds for anything. All right. Barry just doesn't lay down hands.
Yeah.
But he's certainly not going to lay down. He's not going to let a $6,000 pot go for 1,800.
Pocket kings here for Paul and seed 8.
I can't fault the grinder though. I mean, the bet against most rational players is a really good bet in the sense that it looks like he wants a call, and it's still $1,800. You know.
300.
Seed number 7 is going to raise here to 300 with ace jack suited, but Paul to his immediate left has got kings. See how Paul's going to play it. And that's a pretty big raise so far in this game, but Paul is going to re-raise here. He's going to make it 1,000 straight. Grinder's out of there. And now, you know what? Josh is, he's getting shorter and shorter over there.
Yeah, he's in bad shape here. Not many aces left, folks.
At this point, there's no fold equity. I think you just get rid of it here, Dave.
And I don't know Josh, obviously. Seems like a nice enough guy, but he might be a little bit overmatched at this table. I mean, we got some pretty good players. We got Grinder, we got Kenna James, we got Paul on seed 8. I mean, you've got some top pros here. And you wonder if maybe Josh is just a little bit out of his league.
Sit your ass down, Alan.
And this is Paul. I mean, Paul's not making a move. And if Josh plays this, I mean, he's got to almost
Well,
move
this is what I was
all in.
talking about. I was playing with Josh for an hour today, and he did spew off some chips.
Yeah.
And, again, I'm not going to judge a guy's play by just an hour.
No, hey, I mean, if somebody were to watch me for a
Right.
5-hour period or a 3-hour period, they'd think I'm the biggest fish in the world sometimes. If you watch Mo for a couple hours, you might think or Kenna James even.
Right.
Everybody has their bad times.
He's going to get rid of it, Dave.
You kind of wonder, though, you said he was down in the 5-10 game. You wonder if he lost a couple thousand in that game, maybe he figured, I'll take a shot in this game to see if I can make it back.
Yeah.
And obviously making it back is never the right way to go about it.
Again, we're here live at the bike. We're playing 25-50. No limit hold'em with the Grinder, Kenna James. We stream live cash games every Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 Pacific time. You can also catch us out on a replay starting an hour after the show, leading up to the next day's show.
Right. You corrected one time before. You said, if by chance you're having some sort of feed problem, because we have a lot of viewers during the live show, you can watch us the next morning.
Yep.
Or even right after our show. Just go to liveatthebike.com.
Linked around here.
$250.
Yeah. 5-way action. Actually, 6-way action, so $300. Queen 9-6 here with a couple of hearts.
Well, I mean, Grinder's got the best hand here with Queen 9. He's got 2 pair, top 2.
Yep. Dan's going to come out and bet here with a weak queen. And, it's interesting. If everybody folds in between the Grinder, we'll see. Well, now that there's somebody in here, if Josh comes in between, I think the Grinder's probably going to raise here on the button, Dave. It's a pretty connected board.
Well, Josh is open-ended.
I was wondering if the Grinder was going to play a little fancy from the button if it was just heads up.
Yeah, Dan seems like a pretty solid player. I mean, I think that was the only 250 he was going to put in the pot.
Grinder raises.
He wants you to call one time when he says call.
He makes it 875.
Josh might push it.
I was going to say, if Josh feels frustrated, he just might put it all in now.
It's not a terrible play. He's open-ended. I mean, there's a 2-flush out there, but he is open-ended. There's a lot of dead money in the pot.
Well, Dan hasn't folded yet with Queen Deuce.
Wow, really?
And he's going to re-raise, Dave.
Wow.
Look at the image the Grinder puts out. He doesn't buy it.
The
He's
funny
going to
thing is,
re-raise.
a lot of these tournament pros have that image without even playing like that.
He's going to make it 1,000 more. Oh,
Man.
my. And we still have Josh in between it. And now at this point, he's going to fold now.
Well, you might put one of the players on hearts.
Yeah.
And if you put one of those players on hearts, then you have to get rid of your Jack 10.
Again, this is kind of one of these times where sometimes you can be up against bottom set with top 2. But Dan is putting the move on the grinder here, made it 1,000 more, and the pot is quickly, I want to say 3,500, 1,000 a
You
call.
can see how bad. I mean, Dan is in terrible shape, folks.
And Dan has got probably 6,000 left there. 6 or 7,000 behind for Dan.
You know, I've got an interesting little thought here. I'm going to throw it right after this hand.
Well, Grinder's asking for a count here.
I mean, do you just call this? You're in position.
Well, he's only got about maybe 45 or 5,000 left here, Dave. Again, the pot's 3,500. It's 1,000 for the grinder to call.
I mean, do you just call this with the...
I think he said race.
Yeah, he did say race.
And he's going to come back over the top. And look how quickly Dan folds.
Yep.
He raises it 2,000 more, and Dan instantly folds. Grinder takes it down.
Nice play. Now, okay, we talk about the benefits in this new landscape of poker, tournament poker that is. A lot of big-time pros are only playing in the TV events.
Right.
Because of the ancillary benefits of playing in those events, right? Now, this is my question for you. What are some of the benefits of hitting a final table on TV? Obviously, endorsements, right? Obviously, you get, obviously you get name recognition, all sorts of fame, and things like that. But might you also get, hold on, let me go to a chip count here, sorry.
This is from before, well, you know what, let's we'll
cut back to it
that, because we got a big hand coming up here, Dave.
Do we? Okay.
Yeah, queens against jacks.
Ooh. And Alan's got jacks, huh?
Yeah. And Barry's
got the queens.
Well, we got queens over there in seat 4 for Gil. And I think that Barry opened this with a raise with King 10, and Alan's just going to smooth calls with jacks. 175, Alan calls.
Imagine Gil is going to re-raise this. Gil is a tournament player. I don't think he's going to want to play this. I think he's going to want to...
Well, now the grinder's going to call with Jack 9 of spades, and probably Gil is going to raise here out of the big blind.
Well, you have about $600 in dead money in there.
More, well, yeah, a little more than that. Well, yeah. 175 to Gil, so it's 125 more. He's in the big blind.
And he's thinking of the best way to play this. Do I raise? Do I smooth call? And if I raise, how much do I raise?
Barry called with King 10. Or Barry raised with King 10. Alan called, and the grinder called with Jack 9. And Gil is going to re-raise.
Well, and that'll probably get Barry out of the hand. What is Alan going to do?
He's going to re-raise.
Wow.
1,600 more here.
Am I missing some big chips in here?
1,600 more. Well, I mean, you think about it. The pot, when he calls the 175, the pot is about 700.
Look how easily Alan mucks jacks there.
Wow, that's the new and improved Alan. Huh?
Yep. Grinder's going to fold the Jack 9.
And Gil takes it down. Anyway, I was going to say, by playing on TV, especially when you're seen playing six-handed, like on say the World Poker Tour, obviously you're playing a lot different in the tournament. You're seeing people making moves with Jack 4,
right,
Ace Deuce, and you wonder if a lot of these players like Kenna James and the grinder almost have this gambler image in a cash game as well, without even have to really being a gambler.
Right.
I mean, the grinder hasn't done anything out of line here at all, yet Barry Woods and C3 have both given him a lot of action.
Yep.
And you wonder, just because, he's a young guy, he's a big-time tournament player, they just assume that he's making moves.
It looks like somebody started to thread over on full contact poker. Mark O. There you go. Button's going to move over here to seat 3. And he's going to raise it up here to 250 with Ace Jack off suit. We'll have an updated chip count with you pretty soon here, Dave.
Live at the bike, folks. We are here at the Bicycle Casino, home of the second largest poker hall in the world.
What's interesting here, Josh has got a suited connector. He's got a heads up, but he's short, Dave. He doesn't really have that many chips behind him.
No.
He probably only has maybe 1,500 to 2,000, and the raise is 250 here.
I mean, you start looking at a checklist of reasons to play that hand or not to play that hand. Okay, checklist not to play. I'm out of position, I have no money, and I'm heads up.
And he folds.
There'll be a lot of pressure. There'll be a lot of pressure on it.
Bud's going to move over to Gil in seat 4.
You got it right back. You get it right.
Yeah, I always find it humorous, though, when somebody judges another player based on, say, 1 hour of play. Especially when you're playing no limit hold'em. Here we got a chip count.
So Barry is leading the table with almost 18,000. We've got 57,000 on the table here. Grinder's got 13. So let's take a look at the differences now. Now the Grinder actually started with...
Wow, look at Barry.
Grinder started with 15, so he's down about $2,000, and Barry's up 8,500.
I guess Barry's trying to win his trip to New Zealand in one night.
Look at this. The Grinder's going to raise with pocket jacks. Kenna calls with jack 7. Paul's got ace-king, and Barry's got ace-queen suited. Oh, wow. We've got about a $1,200 pot going 4 ways.
And there it is, king, queen, 10, folks. The Grinder has an open-ended straight draw.
Yep.
Kenna also has the open-ended straight draw.
Now, what is Paul going to do here, Dave? He played it a little bit. You know, he just made the call. He's going to lead out with ace-king. He's got the ace of diamonds in his hand.
Yeah, he's going to lead out and see exactly where he also has, yeah, you like to point that ace of diamonds.
He bet 700, and the Grinder's going to call in between. He makes the call.
Now, Kenna's hand, he's open-ended, but there's 2 diamonds out there. He's got no other draw.
Right.
I mean, he's in bad shape here.
The pot is $2,200 over to Kenna James.
And right now, it has Grinder's a 1% chance of winning because Kenna is still in the hand.
Right. Once Kenna folds, we'll see those odds increase.
But the Grinder's actually not in great shape here because obviously 2 of the aces are dead. He needs a 9.
Now look at Barry Woods. We know what's going through his head. He's got a pair and a straight draw with backdoor hearts, Dave.
Yeah.
He might come in here as well. And he does make the call.
Wow, and if the Grinder hits a set,
yep.
Man.
Here we go. $3,000 to the turn. The turn's
my
a queen,
God.
and Barry spikes trip queens.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
How is he
folks.
going to play it here?
Oh, that is just sickening.
He was drawing so slim, and he made it on the turn.
Look at him. He's almost smiling. He looks like a little baby who just farted.
Don't bet, please.
It's a $3,000 pot. And I like this bet by Barry. No free cards. He's going to drive right at it.
No, you can't give a free card there. There's no way.
He's bet 1,200, Dave. Kind of a little bit of a small bet.
Price of poker just went up.
And look at that. Paul gets rid of it. He goes, you know what? There's just too much I can't beat anymore.
He's bet 1,200, Dave.
Wow, all you got is Queen Jack. I think that's good.
And look, he puts him on Queen Jack. That's a pretty good guess there.
And look at this. The Grinder says, I got kings full, and he raises. Barry bet 1,200. The Grinder raises to 2,000. And now
Wow.
the pot is over $8,000. 2,000 for Barry to call.
Oh, man.
And we've never seen Barry lay this type of hand down.
Well, the only thing that's scary, though, is the Grinder said you have Queen Jack.
Right.
You have trip queens. I know you have trip queens. I'm going to raise you anyway.
But let me ask you this question. Would the Grinder just call with 3 kings there on that type of flop? With 4 people in there?
I don't know. I haven't seen the Grinder in a cash game.
Yeah. But I mean,
nobody has.
But I'm saying it's very connected, right?
It is.
That out
I
check.
wouldn't. You wouldn't. But I'm not the Grinder. This is one of the best poker players in the entire world. Who knows? I have no idea.
If Barry makes this call, the pot will be over $10,000 here, folks.
You know what I mean? It's an unorthodox play, obviously, to call with queens, but hey, there's a reason why he's one of the best in the world. Now, if he just calls this, a jack is no longer good because a jack would actually fill up the Grinder.
Right.
The Grinder would need a jack, a 9, or an ace to win this pot.
No, the ace wouldn't be good because
No,
Barry
you're
would
right.
fill
Thank
up.
you. Right. So a 9 or a jack only. So he's got 4 outs, 5 outs, because we know 1 jack is dead already.
And he makes the call, and we've got over a $10,000 pot going to the river. Here we go. And the river's an 8, and Barry's good. It's a 3rd diamond here.
Right. Now, this is scary. Now, is Barry going to put a little bet out there to block it? Or is he going to check and see if he induces a bluff? This is really interesting. I'm not saying that I think he's thinking he's inducing a bluff, though.
Again, it's a $10,000 pot right now.
Oh, man, this is... And the Grinder's got to know he's behind.
Oh, of course.
I mean, he put his opponent on Queen Jacks.
Barry checks, I believe. Did he check?
He's still thinking. I mean, there's really no point in putting out a blocker bet into a player of the Grinder's caliber. He's going to smell that out. And if he's got kings full, he's going to raise you. So even if you put a $2,000 bet out there, he is going to raise you if he has kings full. There's no doubt about that. You might as well check this.
No, not yet.
Barry hasn't done anything. The pot's 10,000. If he checks, the grinder could move all in, Dave.
Well,
You know?
let me ask you this, though. If the grinder has trip queens beat,
Right.
can you possibly put out a bet there and the grinder's not going to smell out kind of
Right.
a blocker bet? No, the grinder's a world-class player. He's going to come over the top of you.
And the
with big
grinder
hands.
knows Barry has a queen here, but the grinder does not know Barry Woods, though, like we do.
You know what, though? This is a lot of money. If the grinder moves in for $9,000, can Barry call with just trip queens?
And the grinder does have about 9 to 10,000 left.
Barry also can't be a flush.
Look at this. Barry's cutting out chips here.
Well, he might be thinking that he has to put out a blocker bet. I'm not sure.
And he's reaching for 2 stacks here. He's going to bet 4,000 at the grinder.
Well, and that's going to be see, the only thing with that is that's a big enough bet now.
Yeah.
That I gotta tell you, I don't like the bet. The grinder, I think, now is going to realize there's no way to get him off the hand, and he's going to throw it away. But if he checks to the grinder, I just don't see any positive in betting that hand on the river.
You think if you're going to play it, you're going to check call there on the river?
Well, you might check fold or you might check call, but betting it, think about it. If he has kings full, like he said he did, he's going to raise you all in.
Well, let's see what he does. He's cutting out chips here.
Well, now, I mean, maybe he's counting to see if he has enough to get him off the hand, but I think he only's got about 9,500 left, maybe 10,000. We're talking about a $20,000 pot. He's going to raise 6,000. There's no way it's going to work.
He's asking him, do you have the straight flush? He's trying to get a read.
He's definitely trying to get a read on Barry.
Trying to get a read on Barry here.
Look at him. I mean, I just don't. I mean, I'd almost rather bet a weak bet and see what that did to me. You know what I mean? The grinder's got to know that he bet too much to get him off the hand.
I don't know, man, but I'll tell you.
I just don't think the grinder has enough.
I was in his hand. That's right, I was in his hand. You started it all.
Yeah, we got time. We're almost.
He gets a minute, right? I mean,
Yeah. We got a 5-minute delay. We're almost up to that 5 minutes.
Oh. And he can't hold on that body. Your hand is dead?
No.
What happened?
You just need to act. You gotta rush it. See, we have a 5-minute delay.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
And he folds, Dave.
Yeah, he knew what he was going to do there.
Grinder folds. And Barry Woods takes it down.
Barry, I don't know what you had, man, but that was some. Huh? Yeah, find out.
So again, Dave, you think, obviously, that you actually don't necessarily like the bet on the river. If you thought your hand was good, you might actually just check call there.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm sorry, I was in the middle of talking to Evelyn. Say it again.
I said you think maybe a check call is in there if you think you have the best hand.
Well, I mean, I'll just throw this at you. The grinder's a world-class player, right?
Right.
If you put out a blocker bet and he's got a real hand, he's going to smell the blocker bet out, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not going to work. If he has kings full, he's going to move in anyway. Right? But if you bet into him, there's nothing good can come out of it. If he has you beat, he's probably going to raise you all in, and then you're put to the test, and you probably have to call. If he doesn't have you beat, he's going to lay it down.
I think if Barry checked there, the grinder was going to move all in.
Well, and then it's up to Barry to make a decision or not.
Yeah. Barry's going to raise it up here to 250 with pocket 10.
And Barry's on fire.
Yeah.
Barry's up like $12,000. I got to find out how much his trip to New Zealand cost.
Yeah.
We just paid it off in an hour and 5 minutes.
Kenna's going to call with a little gap-suited connector here. Three-way action here.
I was still lost.
Well, what a hand, folks.
Queen Jack 7. Kenna's got a flush draw here. Harry has top pair, and this is a garbage flop for Barry Woods.
Yeah, he's got runner straight flush possibilities, though.
Right.
500.
And I think it's a pretty easy fold here for Barry.
Paul, what did you have? You come out betting.
Harry bets 500 here, and Kenna doesn't make the check call with the flush draw. Pot's about 1,600. Turns a king. You see how Kenna's going to play it now.
I mean, unless you think, do you think the grinder could call $4,000 off with, say, just a king?
Look at this. Kenna's going to throw a $1,200 bet out here. He's going to bet $1,200 right now on the turn.
Well, you know what? He's one of those players. He's got the club, but he thinks maybe that king was a scary card. He's going to use it. And good players always do that. They think, okay, well, I've got my 9 outs to my flush draw. Plus, maybe if an ace come out or a king comes out, maybe I can use it.
And Harry makes the call. And we've got about a $3,500 pot to the river. Kenna misses.
And what is Kenna going to do? And this is, you know, it's funny. The grinder said, you asked him, would Kenna bet if he missed the flush draw? And the grinder said, no, he would not.
Well, how much he's going to have to bet here? The pot is $3,500 to $4,000 right now. Kenna is on busted clubs. He is missed.
Well, what's he going to represent here? Ace, 10 of clubs? Or king, queen, 2 pair?
And he's going to bet here.
Wow.
It looks like he's betting big. Well, $2,200 into about a $3,500 pot.
Well, that really puts Harry to the test. Harry's got what? A pair of queens? That's it?
And it would, in essence, put Harry all in here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge bet. We're talking about, what, a $5,700 pot, $2,200 to call. Man. I mean, you got to start thinking, Kenna just check called the flop, right?
Right.
Then he bet when the king came out. Did maybe he make king jack? Did he make 2 pairs?
And this is the same guy that Kenna made all the money with the full house when he bet, and the guy called him down with 7s.
And he showed it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only thing I'm wondering here. I mean, couldn't he have a set of 7s here, actually?
He checked, called the flop, and he led in the turn, kind of a little bit similar to the way that he played it before, although he led the flop and check called the turn.
Yeah.
And this is going to put Harry all in.
Yeah.
It's in essence about a $2,300 bet here. And the pot, Dave, is about, what, $5,500 to $6,000.
Wow.
And look at that. Kenna has it. He value bets on against the guy earlier in the night, gets the call, and now he bluffs him out.
Man,
he gets it both ways.
I tell you, that is sick. That is absolutely sick. You get paid off when you got the nuts, and you get the guy to lay it down when you have 5 high.
Yep.
Jesus. He is just smoking hot right now.
Yep.
Smoking hot.
Button's going to move over here to seat 6, Barry Woods. Wow. And we're only halfway through the show here, folks.
Kenna's up a couple of thousand at least. Barry's up over 10,000. The grinder's probably down about 5,000. Man, what a night here at Live at the Bike, folks.
Back to normal, Kenna?
Live at the Bike, unedited, unscripted, always live, always raw.
Kenna's going to bring this one in for 200 here. He's got ace queen offsuit.
And look, I think Barry's gonna call with 8-10.
Loose call.
Loose call.
Number 1, now you're going for number 2, huh?
Yep. He makes the call here. He's on the button.
Man, what a turn card.
And Allen's in there with pocket 5s. Boy, you think Allen might be a little overmatched in this game? 3-way action, $650 pot. King, king, deuce. Allen has the best hand with 5s.
I mean, I like Allen's game right now. He's playing it pretty
And he
solid.
got checked around, Dave. The turn's a jack.
Allen still is the best hand, but that's a bad turn card. It's a jack of spades, too. I mean, 3 spades out there.
For experience.
Now Kenna's going to throw a little money in there.
He bets 200.
200, Allen might call. A lot of times Allen doesn't really look at the flop as much as, wow, it's only $200. Okay.
Now, Kenna's got the queen of spades in his hand. And Barry's going to call.
And that
Barry's drawing to a 10 or an 8. His spade's no good, Dave.
And that might get Allen out.
Oh, this is unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, sometimes
And Allen makes the call.
The overcall, wow.
Wow, here we go to the river. The river's a 7, and Allen has the best hand.
And you know what?
And it's going to get checked down. It gets checked down, and Allen's going to turn over pocket 5s for the win. Unbelievable. Say it, Allen. Say it.
I had flush draw too.
Oh, man.
I had flush draw too.
Wow. Unbelievable. I don't know if we could pan over to the grinder's face after you just saw that hand. He must be licking his chops.
You know, I don't mind the call by Allen, actually. If Kenna bets it and Allen just calls Kenna, you can kind of say, you know what? My 5s might be good here. Flop comes out king, king, blank. Now he bets 200 into the pot. It might be good. I'm reaching, I know.
Wow. Grinder's got king jack here.
And look, we got the conversation going on at 2+2. does everybody like that $4,000 bet by Barry?
Right.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. The more I think about it.
5,000 more in front of me. I got about 30 something.
And you know, Grinder might buy in for more to cover Barry, Dave. He might bring some money in behind. And this game might get real big. Grinder's going to raise here to 175 with King Jack suited under the gun.
I had 20. 20,000 more in front of me.
I got to tell you, though, you know what? When Barry's running good, it's hard to touch him. Fresh off a trip from New Zealand, he's feeling good. He's looking good.
28.
And he's running good.
He's right. He was wrong with that.
Oh, yeah. How much is it? I thought it was
Barry's going to fold his hands.
Looks like the Grinder's going to bring in another $20,000. So he'll have over 25,000. Barry's got about 22,000 now. We're going to have almost 100,000 on this table.
We need to see Alan's cards because Alan here, I think, has he said re-raise? Hey, there's Grinder's wife.
after I solved the damn problem. You guys want to?
Alan's got Queen 9. And he makes the call here.
Grinder's wife, sweet girl. I
Yeah.
thought.
Lily, right?
Before. Yeah, I was telling you I played with her the other night. 2 nights ago we played together.
Heads up, Alan against the Grinder. And look at the Grinder's hand. And Alan's got top pair with a straight draw. Grinder top flops a middle pair with a open-ended straight flush draw. Unbelievable. A check
And
called here
amazingly,
by
Alan's only a 43% dog.
Look at this. Alan check raised the Grinder. Alan checked, the Grinder bet, and Alan check raised, and it looks like the Grinder here has re-raised. He's made it 300 more to go.
Now, the only thing good for Alan is he's lucky enough that if he hits his straight, I don't think the Grinder does not hit it. There you go.
And Alan makes the call. And this pot heads up is about 1,500 as we go to the turn. The turn's a 5. Well, Alan still has the best hand.
And now Alan's going to be a favorite. You'll see the percentages. And look at that. Alan suddenly becomes 65-35.
And the Grinder puts a stack of whites out there for 2,000. He's going to put Alan all in here on the turn. He's going to put Alan all in here.
Yeah, but you know what, though? You know, the funny thing is the Grinder is trying to bluff Barry Woods and now Alan.
Right.
Man, you're bluffing the wrong guy. But you know what, though? Alan's got Queen 9. I mean, what can you beat?
Well, it's a $3,500 pot, and Alan's got about 2,000 left. It's 2,000 for him to call.
I mean, he might get sick if he sees this call. If Alan calls this. And the Grinder's still got a lot of outs, obviously. A king is no good. A king would give Alan a straight. But a jack...
Oh, and there it is. He folds. And the Grinder shows him King Jack.
And the river would have been a deuce of diamonds. Alan would have won the hand.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I missed anyway.
Did you?
Come on, once in a while we can wrap it up. I was telling you guys got to get the most perfect couple out. Yeah.
Button's going to move over here to seat number 8. That's Paul. Of course, Paul plays it pretty tight, Dave, and he's probably just in awe of what's been going on here somewhat.
He loves this.
Yeah.
Paul loves this. He can just sit in the bushes like some sort of big cat.
Yeah.
And just wait to pounce.
We get an email here from Alvin also agreeing with your analysis about kind of probably a little bit of an ill-timed bet or an improper bet on the river by Barry Woods.
I mean, a lot of people can say, yeah, but if you check and the guy moves in, well, you put yourself to the test. Well, that's what no limit holding's all about. Don't you want people putting in?
But if you bet,
don't you want people bluffing?
I was gonna say if you bet 4,000 and he's got that, he's gonna move all in anyway. So now you've committed that much more. Seat number 4 is gonna raise here to 150. Gil's got ace-10 off suit. Thank you for the email, Alvin in San Diego. Of course, you can email us at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions. As always, appreciated. Barry's going to make the call here with pocket 7s, and Alan's got a Queen Jack of diamonds. And he makes the call. 3-way action here. About a $750 pot. And Barry's got middle set, and Alan's got top pair.
Oh, my God. Barry is on fire.
It gets checked over to Barry. There's 2 clubs on board. And let's see if Alan check raises here like he check raised the Grinder. No, he's going to check call here.
Yeah, but he's only got, what, 1,500 left. Alan's going broke in this hand, don't you think?
I think so.
Yeah, but he's only got 1,500 left.
What is Gil thinking about? He hasn't folded yet.
Is he going to make a move here? An ill-timed move against Alan and Barry?
Got to pay attention to the players you're playing against. No, he's going to get away from it, Dave.
Yeah.
Pot's about $1,200 to the turn. Allen's way behind. Turns a deuce. Keep driving at it, Barry.
Allen is now drawing dead.
Filled up a little pot. He's going to bet, looks like 700 here.
That's a nice bet.
Into about a $1,200 pot.
That's kind of a nice milk me bet.
Yeah, but it's insane.
And Allen's chips are going down and down here. And he's going to move all in, and Barry's going to win another one. Allen is drawing stone cold dead. Barry's going to take down another over 5,000. What do I want to say? No, about a $4,000 pot.
And you know what? Because Barry is tough to bluff out.
Yeah.
When he is running good, man, he runs good.
River's a queen, and that rubs it in Allen even
Oh
more.
man, that really is. And I got to tell you, maybe Isaac can touch the booth here. Barry is up over 15,000 tonight, and all he got me was this. Yeah, I'm expecting a little bit more, buddy.
Hey,
Okay.
look at a little flag of Australia on it there.
Yeah. Okay, whoosh. Okay, I'd like a little bit more, Barry. Up 15K and he wins. Oh, there we got. Ronnie got one too. 15K and that's all I get.
Some big blind? Yes. Here comes.
I don't know if Allen's coming back, Dave.
Okay, lock it up for me then. I'll take the seat.
Look at this. Grinder's got pocket queens on the button. Barry's got king 10. He's
Well,
gonna
the way
win.
Barry's running, he'll probably call the grinder's raise, and the flop will come out Queen Jack 9.
Right.
Top set against straight,
375.
and the board won't pair.
Gotta win my money back.
Again, I want to mention that we got a thread going on over at Full Contact Poker. I'm going to take a look at this while the game's going on here.
$100. Pick up $100. Picked up, I don't know, another 375. Pick up 475. Pick up 5 1/4.
2 players.
We got a big hand.
Queens here. Grinder raised it up, and we got a call by seat 5 with 6-9. 6-9's flopped the gut shot here. It goes check. The turn's a 7. Now Harry has a flush draw.
Wait, Barry's not in there?
Nope.
What's he doing?
Check again, and Grinder checks it, and the river's an ace. And the Grinder's kept this pot small here, Dave.
Well,
with queens.
Do you really want to play a big pot with queens on that board?
And it's just going to get checked down all the way, and the Grinder's going to be happy to turn over queens.
What the
here.
hell can you beat except maybe 6-8, right? And he actually had 6-9, but I mean,
Yeah.
you can't beat anything.
Look at this post here on Full Contact Poker by Beaver Style.
I always love when this. It's so funny.
He says the announcers seem to know what they're talking about. Question mark. Anybody agree? But what the hell is a blocker bet? What is a blocker bet, Dave?
You know, first, I think it's so funny when
Yeah.
people say that, hey, the announcers seem to know what they're talking about,
Yeah.
as if they were going to turn the show on and expect to hear just complete two morons talking. Now, we are morons, but we actually know a little bit about poker.
Yeah.
A blocker bet is kind of, I mean, well, there's a lot of ways you can do a blocker bet. A blocker bet is oftentimes when if you have a draw, sometimes you'll put a little bet in there and you kind of name your price. Whereby if you had checked it to your opponent, they might put too much money in there and price you out of your draw.
Got a raise here to 250 by Harry.
You also might once in a while, let's say you think you might have the best hand, but you're not sure.
Right.
And if you check and you're uncomfortable calling a big bet, you might even put a small kind of stop bet on the river to kind of name your price and get a showdown.
Grinder's going to call here with pocket. He's got 7-8 offsuit.
Ace queen's so good now.
And Harry's in there with 10s. Here we go to the flop.
Can't beat it.
Ace 4 jack out there. Not a great flop for 10s, but it looks like Harry's going to lead here. Going to bet 400, and the Grinder folds.
I mean, I'll give you a great example of a blocker bet. Let's say, for example, the flop comes out. The flop comes out with 2 diamonds, and I'm out of position, and I've got diamonds. Okay, so I've got a flush draw. I check my opponent. My opponent bets out, and I call. Now, so let's say the pot is $400, and I'm pretty sure if I check to my opponent might put in a $400 or a $500 bet. But I really want to see the river, and I can't call that $400 or $500 bet. So what I might do is I might put, say, an $125 bet. I put in a $125 bet, and unless my opponent is really strong, they might just call me, and hey, there might even be a bit of fold equity in there as well, in case my opponent has nothing.
Harry's got pocket queens here in seat 5.
I got 30,000.
But be careful with those blocker bets, because good players will sniff them out and raise you anyway.
Harry's going to raise here.
And I've even seen some really advanced players disguise a bet when they've got a made hand as a blocker bet so their opponent will raise.
And Harry's going to take it down. Now, I want to make that announcement that we made before regarding the show. If anyone's joining us for the first time and might be having a little bit of streaming problems, we are going through an upgrade, and you can catch this show on a rerun. It starts 1 hour after the end of the show tonight at 10 p.m. Pacific time. It runs all the way tomorrow up until 5 p.m. Pacific time, and you won't have problems when you watch it on the rerun. You can also watch the entire week's rerun on Sunday afternoon starting at noontime Pacific time.
Yeah, I have never, ever had a buffer problem during the reruns.
Now look at this. The grinder has rebought, and we've got 76,000 on the table.
Jeez.
Take a look at the
I mean,
differences.
look at Josh. Josh has got $1,200.
Barry's up 15,000. Grinder's down 6,000. Wow.
Harry's down 3. Josh is down 3,000. Dan's down 1,500. Man, Barry is running this table over.
Now we're heads up between Barry and the grinder here. It checked over to the grinder. Barry has nothing. Grinder bet out with a deuce here. He's got the best hand.
Yep.
He's going to bet 200.
I'm not sure Barry really wants to get involved in this one.
You have to watch the replay.
I can never watch it. By the time I get home.
I've been lucky. You guys have been up playing. I've just been getting hands. Wish I could say I was better than you guys all, but luck is a big factor in this. Sort of like with that 10.
And we get an email here from Chris C. Maybe Donna can ask Dan, when is the next Ultimate Poker Challenge season? Out loud. So Dan kind of knows that we're with him here.
I know I had you. What, just at this last hand?
Ultimate Poker season.
Oh, I know I bet you 2,000. Yeah,
He had it.
Saturday in September, he says.
There you go.
There's Dan, the executive producer of the Ultimate Poker Challenge.
That's why I couldn't raise it. Could have set it up a little bit better.
Yes, Captain.
You set it up. You made a mistake. A little bit.
Dan wants to know.
We get a raise here by the grinder. He's got King 7 of diamonds.
Who wants to know this?
I don't know. Kenna made the call here, it looks like, but we can't see his cards. He's got his cards in his hand.
Maybe Ken is making a pitch for us to do the commentary for that show.
Well, we caught him. Ronnie caught it. It's 3-4 diamonds. Great. Nice job, Ronnie.
Real good job there.
Kenna's playing this 4-5 suited.
Now, the funny thing is, when the grinder raises, he doesn't necessarily have a hand. And you look at his Kenna.
Josh is going to move all in with 10-7 offsuit. And the grinder said Kenna's making the call with 4-5 suited, not far off.
Yeah, not far off at all.
Yeah.
Pretty good read.
You look like a Josh. What's your name?
And by the way, if
Grinder says you look
show,
like a Josh. That he folds. That's pretty funny.
and Josh is going to pick up some dead money
You
here.
can have the 4-5 suited.
Take it
or
down
the
with
3-4
10 high.
suited.
Yeah.
You don't want diamonds either.
He gave me too much credit.
Once again, if you're new to the show, we stream live cash games every Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. here at the Bicycle Casino in Bell Gardens, California. The second biggest poker hall in the entire world.
That's right.
Yeah, I know.
We had a Legend of Poker in August, our big tournament. A lot of the big names come here on a regular basis. Johnny Chan, Barry Greenstein, Doyle Brunson,
Nice move.
Kenna James.
What's your name, sir? Josh. Josh, nice move.
Grinder, what do you want to drink?
Mo's back. Is Kenna James? Oh, Kenna's moving over. Kenna's moving over to Allen's seat, and Mo's going to come in the game. Mo, the host of the show, seat too. Great. You know, Mo's had a couple of rough months now, Dave. Let's see if he can kind of
He's
come
been
back.
really gambling it up.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to you about a hand I had with him last night.
Yeah.
He and I were heads up, and I guess I should have known. I mean, he's in that kind of gamble mode.
Yep.
And he gambled up with me. Really odd play where he basically called it all in against me with pocket sevens.
Yep.
And I actually had ace king suited, and he beat me. But I was surprised that he called me because I was like, wow, man, I could have easily had 9s, 10s, jacks.
Yep.
Now we're showing him at home what to do.
But like he said to me, he goes, hey, I was here, I wanted to gamble. I go, okay.
And Grinder's going to bring this one in for a raise, Dave. He's got ace 9 off suit. I think the players are drinking.
Get a water. With vodka.
You know, it's funny. We had an email here from a player person, Dave. Yeah. And I want to know if you feel this way too. Take a look at this email, and if you do, I apologize.
Let's see the email here from Lee. Big fan of the show, but I can't stand when Dave says something or even asks a question to Bart, and then Bart goes on commenting in the current play. I'm all for keeping the show moving, but it's just rude and awkward. Yeah, I gotta disagree, actually.
Let's take a look at the flop now. Bob comes out king for king.
That's classic. Trips for Kenna.
Yeah, Kenna's got trip kings.
That was good. I like that. That was good. You're usually not very funny, but that was pretty funny.
Kenna's going to come out and bet here with 3 kings.
Were you just waiting to set that up?
Yeah.
That was perfect. I just kind of like saw the toss ball. I like, oh, here it is. Here you go. Hit it out of the park there, buddy.
Yeah, Barry's not going to get involved here.
Anyway, to answer Lee's question, seriously. Oftentimes, we don't know, obviously, because our show is live. It's completely live, unedited. We never know when a big hand is going to come up or when a lull is going to happen in the action.
Right.
So sometimes we'll ask a question thinking there might be a lull, and then something happens. So we'll jump on each other all the time like that, and then pick up the question.
You know, one of the major criticisms we got when we started the show over a year ago was the fact that if you get into talking about analysis and other things besides what's necessarily going in the game, that you have to keep the flow of the action going within the game.
If I wasn't paying attention.
There has to be commentators in here to kind of guide you through, because you know it is a webcast, and you know we have access to a lot more information than the people do just at home, just from the screen.
Right.
So.
I mean, the funny thing is, I mean, if Bart is describing a hand that he played during the day,
right,
but somebody's got aces and kings, obviously we're going to interrupt him and go on.
Right. Well, we're heads up in the blinds between Kenna and the Grinder. Grinder's got deuce 9. Oh, wow. Queen, queen, queen on the flop.
Well, 9 high is good.
Well, we were playing the pair game.
9 high is good, folks. And this might get chopped.
Turns an ace.
This very well might get chopped. Grinder's 9 high is still good.
Grinder's got a flush draw, Dave. And he made it.
Oh, man.
Flush.
No, he's made a flush, but Kenna's made a full house.
That's right, and Kenna bets out. He bets 100.
That guy is sick.
And Grinder folds the flush.
What a laydown.
He got called with a flush. How good is he, really? Seriously.
I mean, the funny thing is, obviously, with a live show, we're talking live poker.
Yeah.
There are enough lulls in the action where the hands just aren't that interesting to get our, analysis and questions in.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why we love your emails.
Email here from Frank Cookie says, regarding the Barry versus Grinder game, why not put someone else to a decision instead of checking knowing you'll have to make a tough decision? Let your opponent make the tough move. Sure, no limits about making big decisions. Why not make someone else make that tough decision?
Yeah, well, the interesting thing there, Brent, is there's really no decision anymore for Kenna.
Yeah.
Once Barry puts 4,000 in there, the Grinder knows he cannot get Barry off the hand, and then suddenly it becomes an easy laydown.
Right. Kenna's going to raise it up here to 150 from the button. He's got ace-jack suited, and Mo folds.
And in fact, there's no decision at all. Let's say, for example, we only know what Barry has, and we have no idea what Kenna has there. I mean, Kenna, what the Grinder has. If Barry moves it, bets 4,000 there. There's basically only 2 options.
Yeah.
The Grinder's either going to move in with what is essentially the nuts, or he's going to lay down.
There's a look at Dan again. Ultimate Poker Challenge.
The more I think about that play, I really think there's almost 0 value to betting that hand. Almost 0.
Well, maybe it's just a little cop-out from Barry. He doesn't want to be put to that tough decision.
Hey, that's the way to do it.
But like you said, if he is beat, it ends up, it's just...
Now he's forcing himself to call.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's a rationalization there. He goes, now if the guy moves all in, he goes, I had to call. The pot was 20,000.
Kenna's going to bet 150 here. He's going to raise it up, Queen 8 offsuit. Mo's going to call with a suited ace.
Nice post there by Kev, Matt. Appreciate the support there, buddy.
Josh is going to call with the Queen Jack suited. King 10 offsuit is in there for Dan. We got a $600 pot going 3 ways.
There's Jack. Josh has outflopped them all.
Well, Kenna's the pre-flop raiser, and he's last to act. Will Josh come out and fire into Kenna? And he does.
Yeah, he's going to bet right into it. I think that's just going to lay everything down. Yeah, Josh is probably going to take this down.
Yeah.
Josh has no money also.
Yeah, but
look, he's put half his money in the pot.
Yeah.
There's no fold equity whatsoever if somebody makes a move on it.
Well, you're going to be chock full with interviews out there. You know, Barry's probably going to be a big winner. Interview him after the show.
I'm not interviewing Barry again.
No? Wow, come
again? Oh, man. I'll ask him about New Zealand then. What am I going to ask him? Hey, how did you make that call?
How did you make that call, Barry? That call.
How did you make that call?
If anyone also is new to the show, sometimes when the show is not replaying, like on a Saturday, and I think leading right about an hour before 7 Pacific time, you can catch a highlight reel that we run of the show. And I kind of said, you know, in the highlight reel, we have a major call that Barry made about 8 months ago. He was kind of first time he was on the show, Dave.
Yeah.
And I was like, and Barry makes the call with pair 7.
What a read! What a read!
Yeah, little did we know.
Barry makes every call. Barry rarely lays down a hand.
Yeah. Kenna's got pocket 9s here.
And you know what? When he's right, he runs like this. And when he's wrong, he goes down 10,000. He has big swings. He and Corporation Mike have 2 players have huge swings.
4-way action here. Jack 8-8 on the flop, and Dan's got Jack 7 in the blind.
Yeah, he's probably going to fire out. He likes to bet his weak pair just to see where he's at.
And Kenna did not raise there, 1 off the cutoff with 9s, and he's just not going to get involved with it now.
Well, there's nothing you can beat. You can't beat a Jack, you can't beat an 8.
Right.
You know, in the off chance this guy is betting hearts. Okay, what do you really want to make a stand?
Right.
With 9s? Sometimes poker's all about picking your spots.
Hey, maybe Dan can have us on with Chad Brown one of these days.
Ding, ding,
ding. Good playing tonight, Dan. Button's gonna move
I
over
gotta
to
tell you, I mean, if we can get a close look, he's a darn good-looking guy. Yeah, he really is.
Pocket aces from Mo here over there in C2.
I'm not gay, and there's nothing wrong with being gay, but if I was gay, I mean, Dan might be the kind of guy I'd go for.
And Barry's going to raise here. He's going to make it 175 to go under the gun. He'll often do this. He's got ace-6 of spades. I sometimes
kind of a stop raise?
I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, that hand doesn't have a lot of value. And Kenna and the grinder both call, and Mo's going to re-raise here, I'm sure.
Out of position. And Mo's, watch Mo raise a lot of money here. He doesn't want to see it flop. I bet you Mo makes this like 1,000 more.
Mo's probably got 5,000 total.
It's easy, Mo, easy.
Okay.
And he's going to make it 700 more, it looks like.
That's it?
875, actually.
Okay, I was going to say.
Total 875, so it's actually 700 more.
You're right. It's still going to be enough to get it in the hand, I'm pretty sure. Grinder actually called that raise at 3-5. Kenna called the raise with pocket 5s.
You like money?
Well, I mean, you know, the funny thing is the grinder is not privy to that information that Barry had ace-queen there. You know, the grinder, I think he thinks he's got pocket aces or something like that. Or I think he thought that Barry had like a bigger hand than he actually did.
Well, he actually put him on queen jack is what he said, which would be trip queens. Well, he would have had a straight draw. He would have open-ended on the flop, then he catches trip queens. Hey, if queen jack, you're going to play.
If you came in,
Again, you know, we don't really know how the grinder, you know, plays. But I would think, from what I've seen, now he had raised with top 2 pair before. When you raise it up with jacks and you get multiple callers and the flop comes up Broadway with 2 diamonds, if you've got a set of kings and a guy bets into you, are you just going to call with 2 or 3 people? I just didn't know. I don't know if I necessarily buy the set.
Yeah, I didn't either.
You know,
you just asked me. You kind of threw the question at me.
Right.
You know, would he do that?
Yeah.
I don't know, but probably not.
Yeah.
I didn't buy pocket kings either. No.
Yeah.
6, 7 diamonds.
And Russ is coming back in. Russ is going to come back over in seat 8, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, he's going to take seat 1. Grinder's going to move over there to 8. He's going to have position on Barry. Now we have a little raise here by Mo. He's got queen jack offsuit. Gil makes the call with queen 10 of clubs.
Now the grinder actually lives in Florida still. Did you get to ask him that?
I didn't. He's from Hollywood, Florida, right?
Yeah.
Ace 10-3 here. Well, Gil's got middle pair. Mo's got a gut shot. Mo's going to lead.
You did interview him, right?
Didn't really get to where he's living currently.
Right.
He's going to bet 400 here, and Gil's going to make the call, Dave.
Well, Mo's got outs. He needs a jack or a king.
$1,200 pot that turns a deuce.
That's not going to do it. Well, Gil's got position on him. That's one of the reasons why Gil can call that.
And he goes check, check on the turn. The river's a 6. Is Mo going to bluff at it again? No, he's going to get checked down. You know,
and I think Mo will probably play a little more straightforward in this game. A lot of money on the table.
Got an email here from JS Classic, he says, who do you think the overall better player is and why? Kenna James with a grinder, cash and tournament. I get an email from Suji411. How good is Barry compared to the rest of the players at the table? Do you think he's a premier no-limit player? I know him personally, and his game has definitely improved in the last year. Well, that's actually Rich from Woodland Hills.
I think his game has improved, hugely.
Yeah.
Compared to where he was, I've actually seen him make laydowns. Barry's game, we saw him lay down jacks early in the night when Dan had kings. Is he an elite no-limit player right now? No, he's not. I'm not going to lie to you. Is he good? Yeah, I think he's a good player.
Paul points out, why did Mo move to the... Or Kenna moved to the grinder's right?
Now, he actually didn't have a choice because he was playing over somebody, and Mo came back in the game.
We had a straddled pot here, so it's going to be $100 to call. Grinder is straddled it, Dave, and Kenna just limped in with king-queen suited.
You see where Paul's from?
Albany, New York.
Albany, New York, man. Keeping it real up in upstate New York there.
This is a collection pot here. And remember, the grinder's straddled. I don't really know what's going on here at the table. And the grinder's going to check it out of the straddle. So we got a $300 pot. 3 times 100 going 3 ways.
Kenna likes to play those small pots. Notice how he did not raise in the big blind.
Well, actually, he was under the gun of the straddle.
Oh, he was? Okay. I thought he was the big blind, actually.
Well, he's got top pair. And the grinders, and actually Josh is going to come out and lead as a total bluff.
Yeah, he's got absolutely no pair, no draw. Look at his chances there. 3% chance of winning this pot.
He bets 200 and Kenna calls. Pot's now 500 as we go to the turn. The turn's an ace. Josh is going to check, and Kenna checks right behind him. The river's a 5. Josh has absolutely nothing now.
Well, I don't mind the bet on the flop. Remember, look at the flop. The board is king, 8, deuce, no pair. There's no straight draw. There's no flush draw out there. Kenna called you with something.
Now look at this. Josh checks, and Kenna's going to think, I think he's going to make a little value bet here.
Why not?
He probably thinks Josh has a weak king,
yeah,
and his queen would play.
He might even put Josh on an 8.
Yeah.
He might get paid off with an 8, too. But in that case, actually, Josh had jack high.
A lot of times people ask us, what is the deal with controlling pot size and no limit? Well, you usually don't want to play a big pot with just one pair. As you see there, Kenna checked the turn, but then he was comfortable making a small value bet on the river when it got checked twice to him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing I'll say, obviously, it was a limped around pot, so Josh could have had any hand there. He could have had 8 deuce.
Right.
What about seat 9?
There's not much value to raising with it. You look at the flop there, it was king, 8 deuce rainbow.
Yeah.
And if you ask Kenna one of the reasons why he just called there, he goes, well, there aren't many cards that come off that scare me. There's no draw. If I raise, if this guy's bluffing and I raise, he's not going to call me.
Yep.
If this guy has me beat, he's going to call me. So there's not much value to raising.
Pocket kings over here for seat 8. Pocket 9s for seat 5. Kenna's going to make it 200 to go here with pocket kings.
Yeah. Pocket 9s for seat number 5.
And he's going to re-raise. He's going to make it 600 to go here with 9s.
Wow. And you know what? It's heads up here. I bet he kind of just calls this.
Well, it's actually the grinder, excuse me, who's got kings. And he's in the blind. I'm sorry about that.
He might just call this.
Kenna is in between here. No, the grinder looks like he's going to re-raise.
Yeah, pretty straightforward play. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering if maybe he'd call it and trap his opponent. He's going to play his hand straight up here. And can Harry call this? How much more is the raise?
Looks like... And look at this. Harry moves all in with the rest of his money with 9s, and Grinder's going to call. And we're going to see about a $5,000 board run here. 9s against kings. Wow.
That was a nice little gift.
Yep. Here we go to the flop.
Merry Christmas to the Grinder.
Grinder's even got the king of hearts here. Harry needs
nine of spades.
Offsuit 9.
Yeah, he needs the 9 of spades. That's it.
One out.
card.
1 out of the
2% there, folks. Good job. I just want to say, the Grinder and his lovely wife actually just had a baby girl.
Yeah.
So now he's got $2,000 more to spend on a baby girl.
Again, I want to repeat this again. If people are listening to us on audio, might have a little bit of streaming problems. We are doing an upgrade this week, and you can catch the show on a replay. And there's a really good chance you're not going to have streaming problems, and you can always catch it on a replay an hour after the show ends, all the way up through until 5 p.m. the next day, and the whole week on Sunday afternoon.
Like I said before, I've never had a buffering problem or a connection problem during the replays.
Right.
Lovely Shirley Rosario in the booth with us here.
Barry's got ace-king suited here on the cutoff.
Barry Wood's having a phenomenal night, up about $15,000 so far.
He's going to raise it up to 150 here.
Kind of wonder, I know he was coached a little bit by Shirley Rosario. Kind of wonder, does she get a commission for this one?
Well, Kenna's in there with queen 6, and Kenna outflops him. Now, Barry's got a gut shot with backdoor spades here, and these two have a history. Kenna checks, and it looks like Barry's going to make that continuation bet. He does.
And is Kenna going to get involved? I'm sure Kenna's going to get involved, but I know Kenna. But you got to be a little cautious with queen 6 here, don't you?
$225 bet and a check call by Kenna. The turns is 7.
Well, that's not a good card for Barry. He doesn't pick up any other draws. He needs an ace, a king, or a 10 to win this pot.
And now Kenna's going to lead out for 450. Check called the flop, and now he leads. Barry's getting a massage.
And might he just lay this down?
Well, you don't know what Kenna has. Now, Barry could actually catch, like you said, a 10, an ace, or a king here for the win.
Is there anything wrong with just laying the hand down, though?
$450 bet into a pot that's about 600, and Barry makes the call. Pot is now ballooned about 1,800 to the river. The river's a 9. Barry misses.
Yep.
Is Kenna going to try to check to induce a bluff here?
Now, this would be a perfect time. Kenna might put a little $200 bet in there, kind of a blocker bet with queen 6.
Kenna checked. Kenna checked. Remember, Barry just called the turn. The pot's about 1,800. And it looks like Barry's going to bluff at it here.
Well, you know what? It's going to put Kenna to the test, but I don't think that's enough money.
Yeah, it's 800 here. Is it an $800 bet here, it looks like.
800 into what? About an
$1,800 pot. So Kenna's getting about 3.5 to 1 here.
Yeah, pot's 2,600, 800 to call.
The problem is I put you on king 10, so it's not for me to call.
Well, Kenna's saying that he put him on king 10 here.
Well, the funny thing is, he bet the flop, he raised, then he bet the flop, then Kenna bet into him and he called him. What do you put him on?
Right.
You're calling.
And again, these guys necessarily aren't privy to the fact that it's Barry Woods.
Oh, Bear, what do you got, buddy? I put you on king 10 and the 9 comes out.
Don't you hate it when you put somebody on a hand and the card comes off that's going to beat you? And then you have to almost manufacture another hand they have instead. Then he's got 10-9.
I'm going to pay him.
And Kenna makes the call here.
No, you don't have king 10? No pair. Yes!
So there it is.
I got to tell you, those two of the biggest characters on Live at the Bike.
I want to read an email here, and if Donna's listening, I want her to repeat this to Kenna. Tell Kenna, Cuz says he's watching. Not only does the poker crowd know that Kenna's a class act, but so does his family. Love the chance to get a watch just sitting in a hotel in Indiana, midnight trying to learn from the best. That's Ken. Tell Kenna, Cuz says he's watching. Cuz says he's watching.
Hey, yeah, because it was possible that you called on a flush draw too. So I thought.
There you go.
Well, there you go. And look at this. You know what Mike Matisow said? The mouth said on. He said it on the circuit actually. Scott Huff's the circuit. It's the grinder's world. We just live in it.
Yeah.
It certainly is this year. Actually, that's been for the last couple of years. Grinder's been ripping up the tour.
He lives in a trailer.
You want to you can go to the circuit and check out Bart and I. We were on the circuit. What was that, like 3 weeks ago now?
Yeah, about 4 weeks ago at the end of the Invitational Tournament. Our names are actually up there, too.
Are they?
It says
Okay.
Final Table Preview. Scroll through 10 minutes of Matisow. Just run right past that, and then we're there. Yeah. We get a raise here by the grinder in seat 8. He's going to make it 400 with king 6 of hearts after many limpers. Russ is going to call with queen jack. He was away from the game for a while.
I got 2 kings. It's crazy.
Before on the card player, it didn't say our names, but now they actually have it up there under the circuit.
Some respect. Okay. There you go. Well, I love the Bluff Magazine poll that we're up for. Live at the Bike is up for best show and best commentary, but it's random. What is it? Random commentary?
Mixed commentary.
Mixed commentary.
Well, Russ has flopped an open-ended straight draw here, Dave. The flop comes out ace, 10-9. We're heads up. And the grinder bets 900 here. Again, Russ is open and he's got the jack of clubs, and the grinder has nothing. You can see that Russ is actually a favorite with no pair with a draw against no pair without a draw.
Yeah, even though Grinder has the best hand right now with King High.
Yeah. It looks like Russ is going to make the call. And folks, this pot's building up to about 2,800. The turn's a 4.
I'm curious how the Grinder plays this, because now this would be a perfect time, obviously, for another blocker bet or a stop bet. You've got a big draw. And
You mean Russ?
Exactly.
Yeah. But the grinder's going to keep driving at it.
Well, the interesting thing is, it's tough now. Does the Grinder put him on, say, clubs? Does he put him on Queen Jack, or does he put him on a weak ace? Is he going to try to get him off the hand? It looks like he is.
He's going to bet 18?
Grinder visited tonight,
15, Dave. He bets 15 here.
I got to tell you, I would bet your left nut that Hollywood Russ folds.
I don't want to be sterile.
Well, I'm not going to bet my left nut, but okay, we'll bet Isaac's left nut. Russ ain't going to call this. Come on, no chance.
Wait a minute.
Come on, 2 flush out there. I mean, he is drawing to the nuts, but I mean, even if the king of clubs were to come out or the 8 of clubs were to come out, how does he know you're good? I mean, you got to catch specifically here, a red 8 or 8 of spades.
The pot is 4,000. It's 1,500 for Russ to call here.
I mean, it's really to me, it's a raise or fold situation, isn't it? You can't just call this, can you?
Well, he's still thinking about it here.
Well, while he's thinking, I'll just let you know, we are live at the bike, folks. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. And, wow, Russ called.
Wow, he makes the call. There's your left nut, Dave.
No, that was Isaac's. Isaac's.
And now we're talking about a $5,500 pot to the river. And the river's a club. Can Russ represent?
Well, that's what he's going to have to do.
Oh, he's going to give up. He checks.
And the Grinder's got to think he's got to bet this, doesn't
Yeah.
he? He's got to think that Russ is on a weak ace.
And he's going to bet 5,000. Look at that big chip. That's actually a commerce chip right there in the middle of the
So the
table.
Grinder clearly thinks he's bluffing out a weak
That
ace.
pink chip there. He bets 5,000. And he's going to take it down. And he shows the bluff.
It wasn't a bluff. King High was the best hand.
Wow.
And I got to tell you, that's about as bad a hand as you that is about as bad as you can play a hand.
Yeah. If you're
I mean,
Russ.
Hollywood Russ really, really.
I mean, if you're going to play a check call, you got to represent something else, right?
I mean, what are you calling for? You're calling
Yeah.
for 8 outs on the turn?
Button moves over here to seat 9. Kenna James.
I'm gonna have to show it later anyway. It's the difference if I show it now. Might as well show it now. They're all gonna see it later.
Again, we got a little thread going on over at Daniel Negreano's site, Full Contact Poker.
Yeah.
King High? Yeah. Very strong.
King High. That's one of the reasons why sometimes if you have a big draw, or at least you perceive yourself as.
Oh, look at this, Dave.
Go ahead.
Kenna's got aces and Barry's got ace-king. Does this remind us of a hand? And Kenna's going to raise. He's going to raise to 200. And Barry limped in. Is Barry might pull the limp re-raise here with ace-king?
Barry always seems to have ace-king in somebody else's aces.
Mo calls with pocket threes, and Barry calls. Boy, if Barry catches a king here, is he going to be in trouble? $800 pot. Queen 10-6.
It's not a bad flop for ace-king there. Should be easy for Barry to get away from
And Kenna,
this.
Kenna checked it from the button. The turn's an 8. Kenna checked the aces from the button.
Wow.
And now Barry's going to bet. He's going to bet 300.
I mean, you think Ken is doing that to just keep the pot small?
Possibly. He might be trying to induce a bluff from Barry.
And what does he do if a spade comes up or a jack comes up or a 9? I mean, I guess it just gets rid of him. And he's just going to call.
I think he is trying to keep the pot small.
Yeah, I think that's it. You know, he raised with aces. He gets that many callers. He doesn't really like the flop. He's just going to keep the pot nice and small. And if a jack comes off,
And Gil's trying to figure out, can he make a move, or does he think he's got the best hand now? I mean, he would have to raise here, right? He folds. Well, Barry needs a jack here. And this might go bet by Barry and bluff catcher by Kenna on the river. The river's a 9.
oh, man.
Wow, one-liner to a straight now.
And if Barry puts in a nice high-sized bet, if Barry puts in, say, a $1,200 bet here, a $1,300 bet, I don't think Kenna can call. Because you think about it, if you put your opponent on, say, Queen 10, Queen Jack, well, Queen Jack's there.
Pot's about 1,500 here, Dave.
And look at this. He's going to bet this for value.
Is he betting for value?
Yes. He's not trying to bluff Barry out.
He thinks that Barry might have something like King Queen. But I mean, that's all he would. Either Ace Queen or King Queen, right?
Barry might have 10-7, I guess. The problem with that bet, okay, and I love Kenna's game, but if we leave that board up there for just 1 second, is there any chance that Barry has Queen 10 or let's say Queen 80, two pair, and checks it because he's scared of the Jack, but he's going to call? Thank you very much, Isaac.
A couple posts here I want to say by Champ Socks on Full Contact Poker. He says he loves the show. S. Freelick says these announcers are pretty good, but they need to get some wardrobe help from Mike Sexton. I got to agree with you there. And
we're looking for sponsorship. So if you own a really great suit company, feel free to call us at liveatthebike.com. Email us.
And Beaver Style says these guys are pretty knowledgeable. Poker pros, I take it. You are right. Let's take a look at another chip count here.
Wow, Grinder up to 35,000. We've got 90,000 on the table.
Yep.
Barry's still a big winner. He's up to 13,000. The Grinder's made a nice comeback. He is now even after being down 6,000.
Yep.
And look at Russ. Russ won that huge pot, right?
Yep.
He wins that huge pot with pocket aces. And he's winning like 2,000 or 3,000, and now suddenly he's down $3,000. Man.
Well, that was the last one.
And I mean, Hollywood Russ, he's a really great guy. He just so badly played that Queen Jack.
Yeah. We got a little raise here.
Yeah, Harry raised it up with pocket nines. He's rebought, I guess, there for another 5,000.
The Grinder is actually in there, not with pocket fives. He has 5-6. The flop comes out 3-4-10, so the Grinder is open-ended right now.
Yeah, significant difference there, obviously.
And Harry's going to bet 400 here.
And let's see how the Grinder plays a draw.
He's just going to call.
Yep.
Again, the flop is 10-4-3 here.
And look at the Grinder. He goes, where are you guys going? He doesn't want anybody to go. He's drawing to the nuts.
Grinder actually doesn't have hearts, but in the turn is a 4, so the Grinder does not have a heart draw. He's actually got the 5 of clubs in his hand. And let's see what happens here. And it goes check, check. The Grinder takes a card.
Yeah.
And the river's a 7, and he makes the straight. And now Harry's going to check it, and the Grinder's going to bet for value here.
Yeah, clearly. You're only losing the pocket 4s, pocket pair here, pocket 10s, pocket 7s, pocket 3s.
He's going to bet.
And look at this, the Grinder tips him already.
He bets 900, and he gives the dealer a tip already. Or actually, he asked to chop the $25 chip out.
He gave her $5 as a tip.
He bets 1,500 into a pot here. The Grinder has a straight here, folks. He's got 6-5. The board is 3-4, 10, 4, 7 here. And pocket 9s folds. There you go. This time, Harry doesn't make the call.
No.
Yeah.
Not much you can beat there anymore once that card comes off. You couldn't beat a 10 already.
Yeah.
You can't beat a 4 if the guy lingered around with a 4.
And a couple other comments here by Full Contact Poker. Ace Jack's off, or Ace Jack off, says, these announcers said, do you expect to turn on the show and for the announcers to not know what they're talking about? This is from an earlier post from someone else. That would be like watching the ESPN or the Travel Channel. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's down on the ESPN and the Travel Channel.
Well, if you like our show, spread the word, tell your friends about us. We're on every Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 Pacific time.
And we stream live cash games every Monday through Friday. We try to do a limit game, a mid-limit game on Mondays, restricted buy-in game on Tuesdays, this big game on Wednesdays, our 10-20 unrestricted on Fridays, and a restricted no-limit buy-in on Thursdays.
If poker's your game, this is the place to be.
Yeah.
Great learning tool also. I mean, we've got, if you check out the archive, by the way, we've got, 1,500 hours of content?
Yeah, anybody, again, that's not familiar with the show, if you go to liveatthebike.com, click on the on-demand banner or the archive banner, you can sign up for the archives. $14.95 subscription gets you access to every show. We've been doing this show for over a year. We've got 3 nights in there with commentating from Barry Greenstein. We just had the Grinder in here tonight. We had a great night when Kathy Liebert played on the show and then came back and commentated on her play. It's a great learning tool. tool.
We've had Kenna James in here 4 or 5 times.
Right.
Talking about his play and commentating on the play.
Yeah.
We also have a new thing called the Inside Straight, which is kind of a poker roundtable where we, along with some local professional poker players, discuss your emailed questions. And all you got to do is go to the archives and you go to March of this year and you can check out the Inside Straight.
Seat 3's got pocket jacks there on the button, Dave.
You got it.
Barry just threatened to take off his pants, I think.
You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Can it just? No, go. Talk about ratings.
Casino change.
Oh, that's better.
Thanks,
You know, you gotta have room in there. You gotta have room.
Dan is going to raise it up here to $300. He's got pocket jacks.
Hey, here don't grow. Here don't grow.
And it gets back to Kenna here. He's got 9-6 suited.
Yeah. Big lick, what we call it.
Yeah, 250 to call for him. I don't think he's going to get involved heads up, though.
69 of hearts.
See Josh get rid of King Queen there. That's a good laydown.
Yeah, and Dan's going to take it down. Well, Dan's played it pretty solid all night here.
Yeah.
So.
If you want to check out our website, actually, liveatthebike.com, you can see my blog, Under the Gun, with David Tuckman. I started it last year while I was out playing at the World Series. Try to update it once a week or so. We also have our bios up there.
Yes, we do.
Plus poker news. We've got our Pokulator.
That gentleman that emailed me here yesterday, Lee, I emailed him back and I said, sorry, Lee, I'll do better, talking about cutting you off. I wonder if you heard what we did earlier on the show. We got an ace-queen suited here for seat 5 of clubs.
And an ace-king for Kenna.
And Kenna just limped in here from up front with ace-king. And look at seat 4. Gil's going to raise. He's got ace-6 offsuit on the button. He's going to make it 225 to go.
Well, he's not betting his hand. He's betting his position.
Again, we're playing 25-50 unrestricted no-limit hold'em. White chips are hundreds, purples are 25s.
And that's what, look, I think that's going to bring Barry in there. And Kenna will probably just smooth call us. I don't imagine Kenna's going to re-raise.
Well, against Gil's played it pretty tight.
Exactly.
Some people will limp re-raise with this hand, Dave.
Yeah.
We've seen it a lot with ace-king.
Well, if you're playing against a guy who you think is kind of,
right,
out of line all the time, you might re-raise with ace-king. And look at this, Kenna is going to re-raise.
Kenna is going to limp re-raise here.
Enough dead money in there. He's going to try to take it down right now.
Yeah.
And you wonder if Harry is going to commit himself.
He's going to make it 1,200 more. This is an easy laydown for Gil.
Oh, yeah. Real easy.
Yeah.
Really easy.
Unfortunately, Gil's just picked the wrong spot to try to make this late position raise.
Nice bet, Kenna. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now, is Harry going to get involved here, Dave?
I think Harry might. I mean, it's really hard to put him on aces or kings because, think about it, the blind was in seat 6.
Right.
He was not really in early position. He was really in middle position.
Yeah.
And you're going to say that he didn't raise aces, kings, or queens. Well, then you probably think your cards are live.
I don't mean to attack Harry personally, as sometimes we get this criticism on the show, but he is kind of really donked it up all night here on this table.
He's had a tough go of it.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, now, if you put Kenna on, say, pocket 8s or pocket 9s, might you move in? There's really no fold equity because I don't think he has enough money. But he's going to go all in.
Well,
Kenna's probably going to call this.
Well, let's see how much more it is. Now, he moved all in with 9s before against the grinder, remember, about 20 minutes ago.
If you think he has 9s, you're going to call. There's enough dead money in the pot.
It's about 3,000 here.
Sometimes you gamble up with ace-king.
Yeah. And Kenna is in great shape here, folks. He's in great shape.
Yeah,
and he makes the call.
And look, he doesn't even like it. He goes, come on, let's go.
Oh, this would be a horrible beat for Kenna if a queen comes out here. We've got a $7,000 board run. Well, both players have straight draws.
Neither one wants a pair.
Turn is a jack. Here we go to the river. The river's a deuce, and Kenna's going to take it down with ace-king, and that's good, folks.
$6,000 pot.
And Kenna's excited about that. You can see that.
Yeah, no really good no-limit player wants to put all their money in with ace-king, but they realize that once in a while they have to. Oftentimes if you're getting, say, 1.7 to 1, or if you're definitely getting 2 to 1 on your money, you really can't lay down ace-king. Because even against queens, in a cash game, the money is there. You've got to call that. I mean, God, sometimes if you're getting a 2.5 or 3 to 1 on your money, you almost even have to call if you're up against kings. knowing you'll win that pot, say 30% of the time.
Talking about pot odds and what you're laying and what you're getting, right?
Sometimes in a tournament, if it's your tournament life and you don't want to lose, and let's say you're close to getting the money or you're close to getting to the final table, okay, you can throw that away and just save some chips. But in a cash game,
Ace 6 I would have called. Ace 6 I can.
I mean, if you're getting 2-1, can you really lay down Ace King in that situation?
Yeah.
When he said that you got it, I thought he said meant to you. You know.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. The guy. I mean, remember he just smooth calls, deals raise. It's pretty obvious he probably doesn't have king of aces.
And seat 5's down about $6,000 tonight. Barry's going to raise here to 200 with Jack 10 of clubs. 3 of spades is exposed.
You got it all, man. You're looking top of the world, huh?
Kenna James on fire also. He's probably up about 4,000 or 5,000 now, huh?
Queen 8-5 here. Well, Dan's got top here. It's all hearts. We talk about how, well, Barry's usually pretty aggressive post-flop. He chooses not to bet now. Now he's open-ended. Turns a 9, and now Dan's going to bet. Hey, could you ever represent some sort of slow-played monster hand here as a semi-bluff on the button with 7-10 of clubs?
Of course you could.
I mean, if Barry put in a raise in here, he's just going to call.
Now, this is the question. Is Barry looking for any heart, a jack, or a 6?
Well, the river's a 10. And Dan's going to come out and bet again.
And that's, I have to think that's kind of like a little blocker bet, isn't it?
He's going to bet 800. Yeah, it's about maybe a quarter the size to a third of the size of the pot.
I mean, anybody with a jack has a straight. I mean,
yeah.
Now, oftentimes, like you say, if you check that, you're inducing a bluff, but you really put yourself in a tough spot if Barry would have bet $2,500, say.
Right. Barry can only beat a bluff here as he gets massaged.
Look at him, he's such a girl.
And he's going to lay it down there, Dave.
Yeah, he always explains, I'm in pain, but he says it's good for me.
Dan takes it down there. Interesting little post on 2+2 by 22 Skidoo. Points out something really interesting. Earlier on, when the grinder was bluffing with king high, actually he wasn't bluffing, he had the best hand, but he thought he was bluffing, he tipped the dealer.
Right.
Early. Then he showed the bluff. And then there, when he had the hand, he tipped the dealer.
Always trying to, put that mixed signals out.
Exactly.
Make those mixed signals out, Dave.
Confuse your opponents.
Yeah. Button moves over here to seat number 7. Got a new player that's going to come into seat 5 here pretty soon, Dave.
No tournament rules here. There's live cash game rules, man.
Button is in seat 7. Kenna and Grinder in the blinds.
Yep.
Kenna's got pocket 7s in the blinds.
Usually I lose.
And is Josh going to raise? This is interesting here. Now, Barry's got garbage. He's got jack deuce suited. Well, Barry's going to limp in. And Josh is not going to raise with ace rag on the button. Grinder's not going to get involved. He's not going to toss in the quarter chip. And look at Kenna. Kenna's going to raise it up out of the blind. 100 more with pocket 7s.
Yep.
Kind of a value raise. And he's got Barry in bad shape.
Barry's going to call with the jack deuce of spades.
And look at that. And Kenna bet blind.
There's Lily in the background.
Thank you.
Good poker player in her own right.
Yeah, absolutely. There she is. She was in the ladies invitational here at the bike that I was floor emceed with Linda Johnson over the summer.
Once again, congratulate her and her family.
I can't stress
baby
this
girl.
point enough for new viewers out there. I know some new people on Full Contact Poker, and some of the people that have been with us from the start. I've read some of SP Surf and Michael's comments on 2+2 and such. If you can stick with us for one more week, we're making an upgrade. Anybody knows the show and has watched us from the start, we've never had problems the first year when we were doing the show. We've had a little bit of hiccups last month. So please stick with us, watch the replays, because you won't hiccup there.
Right.
And we're going to get through this.
And,
if you're having streaming problems.
And like I said, feel free to email us during the replays because we will get to your emails the next day.
Right.
In fact, if you watch this show tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, we will answer those emails tomorrow night.
And I want to encourage people that are watching the show for the first time to tell your friends about it. And even if you are having a little streaming problems, they're not going to last for long. Like I said, we did the whole first year pretty smoothly. If you ask anyone that's watched it from the beginning.
Right.
Kenna's
And if
gonna
the game is always this good, yeah, it pretty much is.
Yep. Kenna's going to raise here with ace-10 out of the small blinds. Grinder's in there with 8-9, and Barry's in there with queen-10.
Well, Barry, Grinder, and Kenna. Let's see what happens.
$1,000 pot here. Ace-queen-5. Kenna's got top pair. He's going to come out and bet.
Barry's got second pair, and Barry's in bad shape. I got to tell you, if a 10 comes off, Barry's in really bad shape.
Kenna bets 500. He bets about half the size of the pot here. And Barry's cutting out chips. Did he make a raise here or just a call? He's going to make a mini raise. And Kenna quickly calls. We've got a $3,000 pot. And like you said, if this 10 comes here, Dave, boy, we're in for some action. Well, the turn's a jack.
Wow, that's not... Well, it gives Kenna the straight draw, but it's got to be a little scary there.
It's a third diamond.
What can you beat if you have ace-10 here?
Can Barry work it through his head? Can he represent something here? It's a $3,000 pot.
Well, how about a bigger ace? Or two pair?
And he's going to bet $2,000 here, Dave. Boy, and Kenna's hand is really weak to this board with this heat.
Yeah, I mean, Kenna's got a draw now. I mean, he's got a diamond draw, but you don't even know if it's a good draw. Obviously, he also has a straight draw, but I mean, he could be drawing dead to a king-high flush already. Who knows? I mean, you can't beat two pair, and if Barry happened to have ace-queen or ace-5, you're in really bad shape.
Pot's 5,000. It's 2,000 for Kenna to call right now.
Now, the pot was limped around pre-flop, right?
And then Kenna raised it up out of the small blind.
So it's hard to put him on ace-queen.
And he makes the call, and we're going to see a $7,000 river card.
And what is Barry going to do on the river?
And the river's a 4. That's a blank.
And what if Barry bets 5,000 here? He's got to bet 5,000, doesn't he?
No, he's going to give up here, Dave. Yeah, the ace-10 is good there. And
man, that's a heck of a call. What instincts by Kenna James.
Like you said, you know, if Barry puts him to the test by the tune of 4,000 to 5,000 on the river.
Yeah.
Can he make a call with the ace-10?
Really, really tough.
Yeah.
Mark, you always got to worry when
I mean, I'll put it this way. If Barry bets the river,
yeah,
you have to dismiss two pair, and you basically have to say, he raised me with a flush draw, he hit his flush, and he's betting it, or he's on a bluff.
Right.
One or the other.
Flexion pot?
And look, and now Kenna.
I'm sorry, buddy. You caught winning. Did you see it?
And Kenna is now.
Yeah, no,
there's Denny Williams.
I was just kidding.
Any old school Live with the Bikers?
Yeah. We gotta get Kenna. We gotta get Denny back in here to talk about hot dogs.
Yeah.
Kenna's now suddenly probably up $8,000 tonight. Huh?
Yeah.
Lovely Nicole in the background, talking to one of our floormen, Faradon.
Another post here, and I apologize because a lot of people are saying that they really like the comments. If I missed anybody over in Full Contact, the thread doesn't go all the time, but I'm looking at one from Pete in here. He says, I just turned on my speakers in 30 seconds. These announcers went over pot odds better than Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten have in 3 seasons, excuse me. Now,
well, thank you very much.
We do not always get positive feedback, and we will read your negative feedback, so send it in. You don't want to make it look like we're filtering anything here.
No. We've got a couple of people that routinely write us on how bad we are.
Right.
And we'll read that.
Yep.
No problem. I have no problem putting our balls on the line.
Yep. And it's great to see that Kenna's finally had a nice winning session here, too, as he was saying.
Yeah.
Kev Math, the poster, the guy who starts the thread over on 2+2, said that the odds of him winning were 7-1 against him.
You know, it was funny. I actually told him that I was willing to lay 5-6.
5-6.
I thought he'd win tonight.
Yeah.
Well, especially with the lineup that I saw out there.
5-way action here, limped around. 8-3-8 rainbow.
And nobody's got it. Actually, sorry, Queen 8. Barry Woods has got trip 8.
Yeah, he's got trip 8s. There's a couple hearts out there, actually.
Now, this is interesting. Is there any way some of these players might think he's scheming?
Well, he's going to bet he bets 200, and he wins 200 from... Oh, look at that. Barry bets 200, but Mo actually wins money from him in the pair game. And the Grinder calls. Look at this, was just 2 pair, Dave.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. I thought maybe, does the Grinder think Barry Woods is tilting? Remember, Barry Woods has now lost 2 big pots in a row.
Right. Well, the turn's a
Oh,
queen.
my gosh.
And now he's filled up.
25.
Now, we've been saying if you want to win a big pot, you got to build it sometimes yourself. And I think Barry should put a little weak bet in here, and he does.
And look.
He does. And is he going to induce? And Grinder calls, and I think Grinder thinks he's going to try to make a move on Barry.
He thinks he's on tilt.
And the river's an ace.
Maybe Grinder's going to try to...
And look at this. Barry's going to check to try to induce a bluff. And it's going to work. He's got a full house, and the Grinder is gearing up with his white stack over there.
I got to tell you, Barry Woods has played the Grinder, outplayed the Grinder here.
Grinder's bet $800, Dave, into about a $2,800 pot. The pot's about $35, $800 to call, and you think that Barry's going to check raise here on the river.
He's definitely going to check raise. I mean, unless what are you scared of? Ace-8?
What a great check on the river there by Barry.
Barry played this hand to perfection.
And he's going to raise it up to 2,000. And the Grinder's out of there. Wow.
Great play by Barry
Props
Woods.
to Barry Woods
Look
there.
at that. Man. Phenomenal play by Barry Woods.
We've got about a half an hour left in the show.
And I was kind of wondering, I'm sorry to interrupt you, I was kind of wondering, Barry Woods was up 15,000, probably donkeyed off about 6 of it, was only up maybe 9, 8.5 maybe.
Yeah.
And I know the Grinder was paying attention. You think, okay, maybe this guy's about to tilt off some money, he's going to steam through some money.
Yeah.
And just when you thought that, Barry Woods kind of sharpens up, hits trips, then a full house.
Yeah.
And he makes the absolute maximum in that hand.
Well, you know, he was trying to say, portray what you said. Grinder thought he was on tilt. Barry bet out right with his trips. He bet weakly on the turn. Grinder made a call to set up that bet on the river when he got checked to him, and Barry just let him do it. He let him do it.
Yeah.
Exactly what happened.
45 exactly, right on the money. Very good.
You know, I was waiting for, I mean, the Grinder wisely got out of that, but I wouldn't have been totally surprised if the Grinder came back over the top trying to represent a real hand.
You mean if Barry say check raise the minimum on the river?
Well, he only check raised 2,000. It's only 1,200 more. You never know. You never know. Grinder obviously wisely got out of there, though.
Grinder's going to make a raise here with ace-10 of spades. Kenna's going to call a 5-3 offsuit from seat 9. And Russ is in the hand on the button in seat 1. He's got pocket threes. Grinder has actually got ace-10 of spades. And here we go to the flop.
3 players.
Jack 8-5. Kind of misses everyone here.
Yeah. Kenna, actually, Grinder's got second pair.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Checked around the turns, Jack. And the Grinder's going to throw a little bet out here.
So Kenna's got the best hand, right? 2 pair?
Yeah. He's
Jacks and 5s?
Yeah, he makes the call to Grinder's bet here on the turn. He's got the best hand with a pair of 5s. Jacks and 5s. River is an 8, and Kenna gets counterfeited.
Wow. Kenna's hand is complete garbage now. Look at him. Kenna's now got Jacks and 8s with a 5 kicker. He plays the board, folks.
And he just gives up. And kind of gives a little wry smile there.
And you know, Kenna does not bluff there. People at home might be wondering why he bluffed. Why not bluff?
Right.
The Grinder's a pretty smart player.
Right.
I don't think the Grinder puts him on a Jack or an 8.
Right.
And sometimes it's just, you got to pick your spots on bluffing. You really want to throw $1,000 in there. Sometimes you just give up.
Here's a question on Full Contact Poker from Gary, 21. Can you talk about playing from the small blind in a limped family pot when you hit a decent hand? As far as many people betting out, check raising, or slow playing? The reason why I ask this is because it's one of the weak parts of my game. Well, Dave, if you watch this show, what do we normally preach about when you make a hand?
Yeah, normally we preach betting our hand. Obviously, the answer is it depends.
Right.
And if you became a regular and you watch this show regularly, we'll talk about it. And you'll see examples of it on a regular basis. Oftentimes, when the game is a little bit slower, we'll get into your questions even more.
Right.
A game like tonight, obviously, we're going to try to focus on the game a little bit more.
Yep.
But you know what, Gary? Come back tomorrow night, and I promise we'll answer that question.
Yeah.
Just ask us again tomorrow night. Email us that question at live@thebike.com, and we'll answer it tomorrow night for sure.
Do I need a king?
Kenna's going to bet 200 here with pocket threes that was limped around.
And Barry says you don't have a king.
You are cool.
Grinder actually folds the best hand here with pocket fours, so Kenna's going to take it down.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Again, one of the easiest ways to get right to us, Dave, is by emailing us, anybody, because I'm trying to follow 3 different threads here. But if you email us at live@thebike.com, I can easily get to that, too, while we're doing this.
Five straddle.
We're going to take a look at another chip count here. Grinder's got 35,000. Barry's got 9. Look at the chip total. That's all that needs to be said here.
Almost $100,000 on this table.
I think this is more money than we've ever had in this game. Even when we used to do 5,100, because that was a restricted buying game on Wednesdays.
Wow, okay.
93,000?
That's a huge game.
Maybe Kev Mapp can
we got the
help me out
makings
with
for a
that.
huge pot here.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the differences here. See where they're at.
3 players.
Ta-da! Badoom!
There.
Shazam!
Kenna's up over 10,000, and so is Barry.
Wow, what a great comeback there for Kenna.
And look at the Grinders back to even, Dave.
Yeah, really phenomenal there. Harry's our big loser. Unfortunately for him, he's down 6,000. Russ is now down 3,500.
Yeah. Seat number 7 is going to lead out with Jack 6 here, and Kenna's going to call him with pocket 7s.
Yeah.
The turn's another Jack.
And there it is again, folks.
Yeah.
You know, I tell you.
So let's see what Josh is going to do. Is he going to come out and lead with trip jacks here? You know, he's so short, Dave. Looks like he's probably going to put the rest of it in here.
Yeah, I mean, certainly thinking about it.
And he's going to move all in. He moves all in here.
Yeah, I don't think Kenna's going to call, is he? And
600 more.
Josh has got trip jacks. Kenna's got 7s.
Yep. Josh has got Jack 6, Kenna's got 7s, and Kenna did not make the call.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to tell you, a big part of being a successful poker player is game selection, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you're the 10th best poker player in the world, but you play with 9 players that are better than you,
Right.
you will lose on a regular basis. Now, in the same saying, if you are the 10th worst player in the world, but you play with the 9 players that are worse than you, you should be able to beat that game. Now, the reason I bring this up is you look at a player like seat number 1, or even seat 7, Josh.
Right.
I'm talking about Hollywood Ross and Josh there. Both pretty good poker players in their own right. But might this not be the game for them? You look at a game where it's got Mo in the game, you've got Dan in this game, you've got Kenna James in this game, you've got the Grinder in this game, and might there be an easier game out there for you?
Right.
I mean, I got to be honest with you, I'm not sure I want to put my money in this game.
Kenna James is straddled here, and Barry's going to raise it up with Queen Jack offsuit. He's on the button. And the Grinder's going to call with 7-5. There it is.
I don't say that to toot my own horn, but
Yeah.
you know, obviously you've got to realize where you're at when you're picking games.
Here we go to the flop. And look at this. Barry flops a full house.
Jesus.
Now, how is he going to play it, Dave? Queen Jack Jack on the flop. Kenna's not in the hand.
Well, I mean, last time he flopped them on. Last time
He's
he had
going to
him on.
bet it. He's going to bet weekly. And some people might say, well, why not check it and deuce a bluff against the Grinder? But, you know, that is one way to play it against an aggressive player. But at the same time, you might want to bet there to try to get the Grinder to come over the top of you with absolutely nothing, right?
Exactly. You know, everybody's a genius after the hand. So.
Right.
If he bets 500 there,
Yeah.
and the Grinder comes over the top 1,500,
Yeah.
everybody goes, "Wow, what a play by Barry Woods!"
Right.
I like the way Barry played that hand. I really did.
It is hot in here. It's gonna be hot in here. Take off all your clothes. It's gonna be hot in here. Take off.
Barry's got ace 10 of diamonds this time.
I love this little post by 20 Watt Gambit on Full Tilt Poker. Best poker show, period. It's been a while since I've watched, but when I did, it was great. No phony glitz and glamour, just real poker, real players, real gambling.
And look at this. Kenna's going to make the call. We're going to see these two go heads up once again.
Thank you very much, 21 Gambit. Appreciate it.
$500 here, heads up.
Wow, what a flop for Barry.
Barry's got the nut flush draw with an overcard. And Kenna's going to bet 300, and Barry calls.
It's not a bad flop for Kenna here. He needs a 10 or a queen or a king.
And there's the diamonds, and Kenna's got the king of diamonds. Oh, see, now Barry didn't put any money in there, and the river's a 3.
Where's the diamond?
Kenna's going to bet.
Well, he induced a bluff.
Yep. He's going to bet 500. Barry's got the nuts here.
The only interesting thing is, though, you can say, well, he's induced that bluff, but if he had bet 500 on the turn, might he have gotten a call anyway?
And Barry's probably going to raise, and Kenna's going to fold, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And I know that Barry will go back and watch this.
I mean, I can't kill Barry for making that play. He's induced this bluff.
I understand that.
Whatever the hell it is, he said. Puts in 1,000, whatever the hell it is.
And he's going to raise it. Looks like almost a minimum raise here. Hey, let me throw something out here at you, Dave. Again, especially for people that have just watched our show. If you keep that board up here for a second, a lot of times we will preach. When people make a big hand on the turn in position, they oftentimes will check it. They'll check their full houses, they'll check their nut flushes. But, you know, most of the time we preach, if you want to win a big pot, you've got to build a big pot. You never know. A guy like Kenna might come over the top of you with king, queen, with the king of diamonds there on that turn.
Definitely.
Now, he did induce $500 in a bluff there.
But if Barry bets 500 on the turn, does Kenna call with the king of diamonds?
Right.
He might call anyway. And then when he misses, he might go check, bet, fold anyway. Who knows?
But it's definitely been something that we have noticed over, say, the last 3 or 4 months. A lot of times you leave a lot of money on the table when you check your made nut hand in position on the turn, thinking that you're clever, trying to get somebody to catch up.
We've seen it over the last year.
Right.
We've seen people, they want to win big pots, but they don't put any money in the pot. If
Right.
you want to win a big pot, you've got to make it big.
Barry's going to raise again here. He's got king 3 of diamonds. He made it 350 to go. Grinder's going to call with 75 off
Look
suit.
at Barry running this table over.
And Kenna's got queen jack.
And once again, it's Barry, Grinder, and Kenna. I mean, these 3 guys should get a room.
Lots of, I want to say it's about $1,150 pot here going to the flop. Well, can Barry represent an ace here? I mean, it really hasn't hit anybody.
No, if he bets, he'll probably take it down.
Come on, Barry.
He
Hold the
usually
trigger,
follows
buddy.
up. He usually follows up. The other funny thing is the table is really short. Tables seats 3, 4, and 5 weren't playing.
But look at this. Barry bets and the Grinder calls in position immediately.
Yeah.
500. Turns another ace. That might make the Grinder stick around. Barry checks, and the Grinder checks right behind him. And the river's a 4. And Barry's going to bet 1,500 here on the river. He checked the turn. Grinder checked behind him. Grinder can only beat a pure bluff here. Cannot beat an ace. Cannot beat a higher overpair to the 5.
Well, that's the problem. He can't beat. I mean, if let's say Barry was scared of the ace,
Yeah.
and he had, say, pocket 9s or pocket jacks. Remember, he did raise pre-flop. What's he representing here? Now, when the Grinder checked behind him, he goes, wait a second. I think my pocket 9s are probably good. I mean, I'm just thinking of what Barry might have. Obviously, we know. But look at that.
Wow, the Grinder's going to make the call. He makes the call. And Barry's going to lose that battle.
I guess part of the question is, though, would Barry bet pocket 9s or pocket 10s? Would he check it down and try to keep the pot small?
Again, for new viewers, you can always watch the show on the archives. Go over to click on the archive button or the on-demand button at livethebike.com. $14.95 a month subscription gets you access to every show we've ever done, over a year's worth of material. With Barry Greenstein in here, with Kathy Liebert in here, Paul Darden in here, Doyle Brunson in here.
We had Barry Greenstein, actually, do the commentary for over 6 hours.
Yeah. And again, if you're having problems with this stream, you know, don't let that discourage you. Give us, you know, about a week, and those problems will hopefully be resolved. But if you watch the show in a replay and on the archives, you will not have a problem with the stream.
Just go to Live at the Bike tomorrow morning, or even in 3 hours, and watch the show again. But once again, that's live at thebike.com, spelled out.
Yeah.
And you know, it was interesting. Kenna James, I always want to say Kenna James. Barry Woods actually said, I bet too small on the river. And the Grinder said, no, you didn't. I would have called 5,000. What's the difference how much you bet? I thought you were bluffing.
Mo's going to bet out here with 6-9 offsuit. Barry calls with ace-7, and Mo hits the gut shot. It's a third diamond, and Barry's got the ace of diamonds. Mo bets again. He bets 400 here. Barry's got a pair and the nut diamond draw, and Mo made. And look at this. Barry's going to raise him here.
Wow.
He's going to raise to 1,200. Mo bet 400.
Man, Barry's like, he is just trying to run this table over. Now, luckily for him, he's been getting a lot of big hands, but.
Yeah.
Now, there's a check mark there. Oh, wait a second. Look at that.
Oh, Barry does not have the ace of diamonds. Excuse us.
So, actually, Barry is raising.
Yeah, he's raising with
and
ace.
He's drawing dead.
Yeah, he's drawing dead here.
I really would have liked to play if he had the ace of diamonds.
And Mo moved all in here.
Yeah,
Mo's going to move all in. He's kind of short. He doesn't buy it, and he's got the right read.
It's one of the reasons why if you play your hand strong against a player like Mo, oftentimes you'll win money. If you raise there that much with actual flush, you actually make your money.
Yeah.
Because he would actually think, no, you would slow play if you had diamonds already.
Right.
And Mo obviously can only lose here to Jack 9. And he can also lose to diamonds. And that's it.
2175.
2175. No, we can't. I think I overheard the grinder just said that, didn't know that Live at the Bike hires thieves. That's what the grinder said about this pot. Kind of trying to get Barry to induce a call here.
Not in the pot. Is he playing partners with Mo or something? Mo's only played like, come on, Barry, you got to realize Mo's played like 2 hands all night. I mean, there are some nights where Mo is out of line. Tonight's not the one. Last night, Mo was out of line.
Yeah.
Tonight, no.
I can't believe this, Barry. Come on. He doesn't have the ace of diamonds.
You know,
He's
the
got
funny
the ace
thing
of
is,
hearts.
when we thought he had the ace of diamonds, I go, wow, what a great play by Barry. I really like it. I go, this is going to be tough for Mo to make this play. I thought it was an interesting play by Barry with the ace of diamonds. Without the ace of diamonds, it's really not a very good play at all.
Sometimes Barry gets himself in these situations where he thinks everyone's trying to bluff him out because he's playing a lot of hands, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he's playing a lot of hands.
I mean, it's in essence about a $5,000 pot, about $2,300 to call. It's actually more than that. Barry's getting about 2.5 to 1 on his money. And he's really still thinking about this hand. I mean, I'm missing out on something here, Dave?
Well, I mean, he's sitting there going, well...
All right, Mo.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Come on, Barry.
Oh,
This
is unbelievable.
Yeah, as well as Barry played that hand with Queen 8 before, this is as bad as he's played this hand.
Mo, it doesn't make any difference. He
Run
doesn't
it
have
20
a diamond.
times.
Maybe Barry thinks he has the ace of diamonds. This is unbelievable.
Some chance. You must have like.
I wonder if someone's going to ask to see what Barry's hand is.
Donna, tell him that he's drawing dead. Don't waste our time.
3 times?
Yeah.
3?
Yeah, you can. It doesn't make a difference how many times they run it. The hand's over. The money's in the pot.
Go ahead. 3 times.
I'm drawing pretty well.
Oh, you're drawing
He's
dead.
drawing dead. Barry's drawing dead. It doesn't matter.
That's it. You're drawing
They're
dead.
actually going to run it 3 times?
2, he wins that one.
That's third.
Oh, actually, no, he's drawing dead. I was trying to think of a card that maybe would chop it. No, you can't even chop it.
Oh, he's drawn dead.
Yeah, now they figure it out that he's drawing dead.
I was trying to think of like,
Yeah.
are they running it? Is there a possible way to chop it or something? And I'm like,
Right.
no, wait a second. What are they doing?
Hey, everybody out there also, if you haven't watched this show before and you're just getting wind of it, add us to your MySpace friends list. Check out Live at the Bike name Live at the Bike over at MySpace. Add us, request, friends request.
Yeah, we need
Check us
friends.
out. Dave, we got about maybe 5 or 10 minutes left in the show. It's been a doozy of a night, as always.
Nice email here from Greg Ball. And like I said, like Bart said before, we do read the criticism, so send that in also if you have any. He says here, the only 2 poker shows I watch are you guys and High Stakes Poker on GSN. Just my opinion, but I think that you guys need to do the commentary for that show too, because Gabe Kaplan and the other guy don't have the flair for commentary like you guys. Thanks. Well, thanks a lot, Greg. We really appreciate it.
Barry's going to raise again here. He's got pocket jacks. And the grinder's going to call with a suited ace-6 here.
And it's funny. You see Barry making big calls before, and you go, wow, what a read by Barry. No, Barry pretty much calls down to everybody. And when he's right, when somebody bluffs him, he wins.
And we're going to see this heads up for $900 here against Barry and the grinder. Jacks against an ace-6 suited. We can see that one of the aces is already dead. Well, queen 10-5 here. It's 1 overcard to jacks here, Dave. And Barry's going to drive big here. And grinder's out of there. Barry takes it down.
Email here from Bernie Makatenge talking about Albany. He says, Dave, you mentioned Albany, New York. Have you ever been to Montreal? Yes, I have. Montreal is one of my favorite cities in the whole world. I love Montreal. Absolutely love it. I actually went to the old Forum before it was torn down.
The Montreal Forum?
Yeah, before it was torn down. And that was a phenomenal place to see a hockey game.
Yeah.
Look, the grinder was up to $37,000. Barry, he's down to $14,000. He was up to 22 before. Mode $7,000. Josh still lingering at the bottom with only $1,000. Kenna's up 9,500. Barry now. Remember when only about an hour and a half ago Barry was up 15,000?
Yeah.
Well, now he's up 5,500. Grinder up 2,000. Nice comeback for him.
So the big winner of the night's Kenna. So maybe we can interview him then tonight after the show.
Yeah. Hey.
We had a little raise here by, it looks like, I want to say seat number 3. He's got Queen Jack of Diamonds. He's going to make a little raise out of the small blind here, Dave. And that, no, wow, maybe it was seat 7. 9-8 offsuit there. Here we go to the flop. Ace, Queen, 9 with a couple of hearts. Well, if Josh was the pre-flop raiser, let's see if he follows through.
Well, if he bets this, he'll probably take it down. You can't imagine that Dan would get involved with second pair, no redraw. I mean, he's got 2 diamonds in his hand. The flop's got 2 hearts. But Barry is going to bet.
Whoa, we lost the video here.
Well, that's really strange because I was looking at the screen and I'm watching Barry bet.
Yeah.
But we're frozen. I'll just kind of read you through it. Hhopefully you can hear us.
Yeah, I think you can still hear the audio here.
Yeah, Barry has bet here on a bluff and everybody's folded.
So we're actually going to, Isaac told me we're going to get about 30 seconds and we'll get the camera back on here. So we're just going to talk you through the next couple of hands. We only have about 1 or 2 more hands left.
Kind of like the 1950s, old baseball. We're going to talk you through it like a radio show.
Yeah. Again, you're watching live at the bike. We're playing 25-50, no limit hold'em.
Button moves over to seat 3. Small blind is $25. That's Gil. Big blind is Hollywood Henry in seat number 5. You can see him there frozen in seat 5.
Yeah.
Josh limps in. And we get a limp in there by the grinder. Action is over to Dan on the button. He's going to lay it down. Gil tosses it a quarter, and we're going to see it 4-handed limped around. Pot is $200. And the flop is Queen 9-6 Rainbow. Interesting here, Grinder's open-ended with Jack 10. Grinder's open-ended with Jack 10. The best hand, nobody has a queen, which is top pair. The best hand is actually seat number 7, which is Josh. He has Jack 9. And Josh bet it, and the Grinder called. And the turn is a Jack, and now, wow, look at this. Josh has made 2 pair. He's got Jacks and 9s.
He checks and the Grinder checks.
Yeah, and Grinder's got a, well, the Grinder had a pair of Jacks with an open-ended straight draw.
Yeah.
A 6 on the river pairs the board. And the Grinder has missed his draw, and Josh is going to bet.
Yeah, Jack 9's going to come out and bet. He bets $450 here.
Yeah, and the Grinder's only got, he's now got Jacks and 6s.
Yep.
But Josh has got Jacks and 9s, and Grinder is thinking, do I have to call this? And he calls. He pays Josh off.
And there we go. We got the video back, and that's a nice little job you did there, Dave. Jack 9 is going to take it down there.
I can tell you, one of my favorite things in the world is actually to listen to baseball on radio. I'm not a big baseball fan, but I love listening to play-by-play on the radio.
Right. Dave, this is going to be the last hand of the night here, so again, thank everybody for joining us. As always, pleasure to have you join us.
There we go.
You can catch every Monday through Friday, folks, 7 to 10 Pacific time. Live at the bike, keeping it real.
Tomorrow we're probably going to be doing a 300 to 500 no limit home.
See this live at the bike right here. One hand.
Oh, look at that. They switched hats. Grinder's got the cowboy hat on. and the Grinders, and Kenna's got the baseball cap on. To the side. Look at that, to the side.
That's classic.
Yeah.
Hey, dog. You know, dog. What's up, dog?
That's D-A-W-G.
Yep.
Now I gotta play like the Grinders, so. You know?
And Kenna's going to raise it up here for the final hand of the night.
With 7 deuce suited. He said
7
he's gonna-
deuce of clubs.
He said he's going to play like the Grinder.
Play this. I mean, you can't buy this kind of stuff. Believe me. This is worth the price of admission.
And Barry's going to call.
Barry's got Jack 10 of clubs.
Ooh, wow, clubs come out. We're going to see fireworks.
King 10-4 here. Well, Barry's got middle pair.
Yeah, obviously, 7 deuce of clubs for Ken, and he's completely missed.
Kenna bets 200, and Barry immediately calls. The turn's another 10, and Barry's got trick 10s.
And Kenna is drawing dead, and he costs him 200.
Yep, we're going to have a little problem with the card software. And look at this, Barry just check calls with trip 10s. And the river's a jack, and Barry fills up now. The pot's about 1,400, and Kenna's on a stone-cold bluff here.
Yeah, Kenna barely beats the board. He's got a 7.
And Barry's going to bet, and Kenna's going to raise him. And Barry has a full house.
gosh.
This is unbelievable. See if we can get the board up there.
Yeah, there's the board. Just so you know, Kenna has 7 high. Kenna has 7 high, folks. Barry has full house.
Right.
Jacks over 10. I'm sorry, 10's full of jacks.
Yeah. And I think that Barry just called here. Kenna made a bluff raise, and he's got the full house. Barry's got the full house, and he's going to take down about a $5,000 pot against Kenna, who had 7 deuce offsuit. Wow.
And do you mind just the call there by Barry Woods?
That's not the first time.
He didn't have the nuts there.
Right.
If Kenna had pocket kings, he was killed. And if Kenna had pocket jacks, he was in really bad shape.
Well, Dave, that's going to do it for us tonight.
Wow.
I played like the
Again,
you wear your hat like this, you play
we want to
like the
welcome
great-
everyone that's watching the show for the first time.
Yes.
And we are going through an upgrade, so we're having a little bit of growing pains as more and more people watch the show.
Can they edit that off?
Please watch it on a replay. Watch the archives.
Please
You
edit
know,
that off.
there's a replay on Sunday night, Sunday afternoons, all the way off from noon, all the way until midnight that day, the whole week. So join us tomorrow night for Dave Tuckman. I'm Bart Hansen. Good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.